cover suit.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? We are officially and finally here, and we are so excited. You guys know I am Miss Sabrina Soul. Welcome back to my channel. I have my co-host Tyrone with me, and we are here for the Ready to Love Miami Q&A meet and greet with Kadian Swasey. Okay, and I'm gonna say it, and y'all know I always keep it 100. Y'all know I don't care. But for me, I feel like out of all the couples and from this season, I feel like that this couple right here is like the real couple. I said what I said, I had my, views about them, but the fact that they found love on this platform is amazing. And it's so crazy how it happened, but we're going to get into that because I have questions because I'm like, wait a minute, but wait, okay. I'm like, okay, if it worked for them, if they like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I definitely have some questions. I'm a huge fan of you guys, Swasey, especially you, because in the beginning, I just was like, I don't know. By the end, I was like, Swasey kept it 100 with everybody. Like, y'all cannot like them, but I mess with Swasey. You know what I'm saying? So, and Kadian, you definitely kept it 100. A couple times, I was like, I don't know. And it's crazy because in real life, you and Sharice, y'all really do kind of, I'm like, Sharice has her and Kadian and I'm like, I could actually hang with both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very straightforward. I'm very blunt. A couple times I know, like, I have to say to myself, like, you have to watch your mouth, Sabrina. It's the delivery. But anyway, before we get into all that, because I'm getting ahead of myself, Tyrone, you want to take it over? Go ahead and introduce yourselves and also to let them know where they can find you on social media. I want to do that in the beginning too and on the end. So let everybody know who you are and where they can find you on social media, and then we'll do it again at the end. That's very,
all right, sure thing. Y'all know me, Tyrone E. Wilson. You can find me at Ty Wilson 21 everywhere. So I'm excited. We got Kadian and Swasey in the house. We're gonna get to know them a little bit. You know how we do, right? Yes. I'm ready. Hope y'all are ready too.
Yes. All right. Kay and Sway, where can they find you on social media?
Go baby. I am Kay Smith with the E, and then Silk Beauty Bar, and I am Couture with the K.
Okay.
You can find me Swasey 28 on Instagram.
Yay. And just to let you know, if you look at the little boxes underneath us, write that down when you get a moment after it's ended. Make sure you follow everybody on the social media platforms, and make sure you follow Tyrone on his YouTube channel as well. All right, Ty, because I feel like it's brewing over there, and you ready to get started. So I'm gonna just let you go.
Yeah, it's always the same question. Like, how are y'all doing? Like, genuinely, like, how are y'all doing?
We actually genuinely doing great, man. Like, we can't complain. Like, we actually just every day we're growing with each other, and we're starting to learn more about each other each and every day.
That's what's up. Like, I'm a big fan of growth, right? I understand the whole process. It's not easy. I know it's like a melting pot of emotions. You know what I mean? Cameras everywhere. It's not your conventional style. It's not your conventional approach, right? What are some things that y'all learned about yourselves, during the process?
You want to go, baby?
No, you go first.
What we learned about, like, holding our tongue. You know what I mean? Listening to each other. Stop just responding. Listen. Try to explain more in depth, because we both be saying the same thing, but in different ways. And just like attitude on both aspects, because I don't want to be told what to do. Nobody don't want to be talked to any kind of way. So, and when you're dealing with two alpha people used to having their own stuff, and everybody, and we both got our stuff together, it's hard for someone just to listen to the other. So, like, you know what I mean? Learn how to respect each other and listen to what each other have to say before we respond.
I got you.
For me, on a personal level, one of the things that I've learned is that I see things from my perspective. And also it's like the way that I would to react, I'm thinking that's the way you would react as well. So if you went outside and the water dropped on your head, and for me, if I would usually respond by sweeping the water off my head, I would think at that moment that's what you would do. And I would think like, oh, okay. So I'll probably sweep it off for you. You're like, why would you do that? And I'm like, oh my God, I thought you didn't want that there. So sometimes just realizing that the way I respond or the way I say things or my growth or how I deal with things are going to be different from other people. That's definitely something that I've learned on a personal level. As far as me and Swasey on a dating level, something that I've learned is to have a little bit of patience. And definitely holding my tongue, working on my expression every day. Vocalizing it, I'm thinking I'm still responding. It's something we did. It happened for us today. We were at the gas station. It's just like the way he processes things sometimes as a Black isn't the way I'm gonna process it. So just learning like he doesn't mean anything, by it.
Okay. So this approach that you have for each other and the changes that you made for each other, was that something that wasn't a consideration in previous relationships? You know what I'm saying? Like, has the approach always been the same prior to this?
Not for me, no. Because honestly, I know I get a lot of kickback for saying like I was in an on and off situation for 6 years, but during that time, he's a great guy. But everyone else that I dated, I was just dating for the moment. I wasn't dating with intention. So I think both of us are definitely dating one another with intentions and, learning that it's okay. It's no manual on how to be in a perfect relationship.
Okay.
Right. For, being a parent. And so things that what's normal, you know what I mean? And so we have to just figure out what's going to be normal for us. That's how I feel.
I like that, Sabrina.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so I want to just get right into it. I said I wasn't going to talk about the show stuff so soon, but I just have to know, because at the end of the show, you guys, Swasey decided that he didn't want this.
Did he?
I mean, that's
how it was edited. That wasn't a choice. I got up and I said it was done. Yeah, at that point, Tommy's just saying like, well, dang, is there anything you guys, like it was a no for both of us at that moment. But I'm the one who initiated it. It wasn't an option on can he change. We were fine 30 minutes after we left. Not even 30 minutes. By the time we finished that and we did our exit, you know how they have you do the exit interview, which you see they didn't play our exit interview in that moment. We literally went to a hookah lounge and we talked. It was really just the pressures of the show and really figuring out if this was going to be something that we were going to pursue in the real world. And they knew that we were together right there. So when I did that green screen, clearly, they're just saying, oh, okay, what would you have liked for him to do? And I'm just being funny. We went to the green screen together. I'm like, yeah, it would have been nice if he would have just got on one knee and be like, girl, sit down. But that's after the fact. That's in hindsight. In that moment, it was nothing either one of us could have said in that moment.
Right.
So when I said that, I was being funny, and that was in hindsight of already being in a better place.
Who initiated that conversation?
Afterwards.
Yeah,
I did.
She crazy. I'm gonna be and they call me back. But this is the thing though. She get a little nervous, my baby. It's okay. She didn't want me to like. So we had got into a little argument. Well, not a little argument because we've been arguing the whole show. Everybody's whatever. So we and it all started from Tommy telling her to go ask me to come up with a plan or whatever. And first of all, you know how it is from a man. Don't come to me telling me what another man told you to ask me. You know what I mean? First of all, and then you tell me to ask you a plan about, and the plan, and he was basically saying, ask me about like marriage and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to, and I already told her this already. She came asking me again. And I just wanted to let her know, like why you keep asking me about my feelings? I don't know how I'm gonna feel in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I don't know that. Like at the end, in the long run, yes, my intentions are to marry and, you know what I mean, have kids and a family, but I can't tell you that next year. I can't say, hey, I want to be married by next year. That's, if anybody says that, that's like, come on, man. Like, you can't, how you don't know your feelings? I may dislike you tomorrow. I may love you even more the next day. I can't plan my feelings. So that's what I was explaining that to her, and then we got into it, and then we get to the what it was called?
A brunch.
The brunch thing. At Shooters, and then we wasn't talking.
He wasn't talking. We had just
so I wasn't talking to her, and she got upset, and she was like, "Oh no!" So I'm gonna do it first. So she went up there and basically tried to, like, you know what I mean, call it off first, and she did, but it bit her in the ass because her part got cut off.
So ultimately, like, what was it that made y'all sit down and be like, you know what?
Let's do this.
Let's work on this. Like, let's do this.
Right.
I think for me, a lot of the confusion happened because he had no issues dating in real life. And I don't think he came on the show thinking about finding love. And I definitely didn't come on the show about love. I've never online dated. I don't answer my DMs. I don't do. And so for me, it was like, who meets somebody on a TV show and really like them? And I don't live in Miami. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, and I was going back and forth, but I don't live there. So like right now we're in Tallahassee. So it was one of those things where, am I going back to my real life afterwards? So when Tommy asked that in that moment, I'm like, yeah, well, what is the plans? And because of how Swasey is, and learning how to communicate, he said something basically like, oh, I mean, just do what you do. Just be ready for the consequences. I'm like, hold up. What does that mean? What are we doing? You get what I'm saying? Because now you're telling me, okay, if I go on a date, I don't want to have to lie to you. We built this relationship.
Right.
Then by being super honest with each other about a lot of different things. So I'm like, okay, if you call me, I don't want to have to lie and say, yeah, I'm just at brunch with Sabrina, knowing I'm really at lunch with Tyrone. You know what I mean? So let me, what are we doing? Because you know men, they'll act like they're okay, then they'll internalize everything and then be like, yeah, out. She was dating. I'm like, well, wait a minute, we were single. So let me know now.
Right.
And because I feel like because I was so honest about my dating life, he was kind of like, well, I'm gonna see if you for real, if you just here for your business for real, or if you know what I mean? So it was one of those things. So after us still communicating right after, it was like, okay, she's that's what he said. So I'll let him finish that part.
Yeah, because I told her I really wanted to see how she act after the process. You know, it's like my job. They always say, like, when you're a probationary firefighter, everybody do everything the right way because you're on probation. Yeah. But you get off. Now we want to see how you really are.
Absolutely.
Now that's when you're being judged because now you're not on probation anymore. So now you can do what you want to do. And that was the same thing within the process. Like, yeah, I get it. She's, you know what I mean? I like her, mentor, but I want to see how you, when the camera's not rolling, you know what I mean? When the show is over, I want to see who you are. And so, and it was consistent. So I'm like, all right, well, move.
I like that. What were some of the things that made you want to pursue that?
Because how, you know, how real she keep it. You know what I mean? You want a person that's genuine and is going to tell you how it is.
That's right.
Sugarcoat and playing games.
Oh, we've seen it.
I don't want nobody something. And you could tell she's not sneaky because she's gonna be open. A person that's gonna tell you tab bits of things, they're not open, they're being sneaky. And I just like, you know what I mean? She's a business owner, you know what I mean? I'm a business type of guy too. You know what I mean? And I just loved everything about her.
Was that something that you were used to in previous relationships? Someone being straight up honest? No BS.
No, I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to somebody being straight up honest like that, and that's what made me, you know, seek to someone like that because my pre-relationship, I caught a lot of lies and stuff like that, and don't like it, you know what I mean? And I noticed it, and I just asked because you know a person lies so much that you like, God, you start questioning yourself. They lie so much,
right?
Did I really just? Hold on, wait. I'm gonna ask you one more time. Did you just say this, blah blah? And no, I didn't. Like,
That's manipulation. That's what that's called.
Exactly. And I'm like, man, it's a condition now. So when anybody lie, I'm going the opposite way. I don't care what you lie about. If I say
same way,
you kick a rock, hey, you kick that rock? No, she just lied. I'm out. I don't care what it is.
I mean, if you told me you ate chicken nuggets, and in real life, if it was a Whopper, I'm gonna be like, unfortunately, we have to end this relationship.
Yeah, I can't lie about a little Whopper. I know you're gonna lie about something.
Exactly.
I can't take it. I'm going 25. You be telling me the truth.
I do have a lot of questions in comments, but I don't want to. I don't want to take over.
Get it going, Tyrone. I know when you get started.
Yeah, so like I really genuinely want to know about y'all and how y'all got here. And
me too.
I'm wondering, like, do you ever think about what makes you you? You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to dating and relationships and your approach to relationships. So I always like to start from childhood, right? And I guess we could start with Kadian this time. Do you feel like your childhood or your upbringing or things that you may have seen, in your parents or in your family, has gotten you to this point or has affected your dating style, your relationship style?
Okay, I'll start off with the negative. So the only thing that I have really seen on a negative standpoint with my parents specifically is going to be my mom had 2 kids before my father, and then my dad cheated on my mom, and I have a brother that was a month older than me, and then I have a sister. When we migrated here, my dad was still there, and I have a sister that's younger than me. So they worked through it, not me. She's a better woman than me because I'm definitely not working through that. And all of my aunts and uncles have been married and they stayed in those situations. You know what I mean? We're learned to kind of like seeing that. So I grew up seeing love and marriage, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to ever just be in a relationship or be in a marriage just to be in it because that's what we were doing and the kids and everything. Like I really wanted to have my fairy tale marriage. So I have had like this commitment issue, not like where I can't be committed to one person. Just when it gets really, really serious, I'm like, oh wait, hold on, wait a minute. This is what you want to do. So it's funny when I read comments and people are like, oh my gosh, she wants to be married and have kids. Like, yeah, I could have done that a lot of times. I was the one who was actually always backing and shying away from that because I want it to be forever. Like when I get married, I want it to be forever and not with all of these negative things. Like we can sit and we can argue, we could go through hardship, we could lose a house together, we could downgrade a car, we could maybe go with lights off, food or everything. But I don't want to go through no domestic violence in my marriage. I don't want to go through cheating. I don't want to deal with outside kids. I don't want to deal with, just a gambler, someone who's an alcoholic. Like I'm terrified of that. So that's probably been one of the biggest things that have shaped me relationship wise. Now the pros is growing up and seeing these marriages. I've seen what unity looks like. I was able to see my mom and dad in an affectionate way to where my mom would be cooking and serving my father. Sometimes my dad called my mom Mother Bruce, like Mother Bruce, and slap her butt. Like I was able to see those type of things, going to family functions and them two-stepping and dancing. I've seen that. I've seen my dad fill my mom's gas tank up on Sundays and little things like that. So I've seen the good and I've seen the bad, and I've kind of taken it and made it my own.
Okay. I got a follow-up question before I get to Swasey's answer on that. You touched on something and it kind of triggered me. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to answer this, but I know for me, one of the things that had stopped me from pulling the trigger on forever is because, one, like you mentioned, like I wanted it to be forever, but 2, it was my faith or lack thereof. How is that for you?
When you say faith, are you speaking from a
faith
standpoint or your faith in that relationship?
I'm trying not to get too religious with it, but like faith is like belief in the absence of evidence. Like, and that could be faith in a relationship, faith that things can go well, years from now.
Yeah, I will say I am definitely more pessimistic. I don't think Swasey that because the other day we were in Orlando for Halloween, and I was just having a moment, like I really love the space that we're in. And I love the fact of like really being in this relationship. And I was laying on his chest and I was like, baby, regardless if this lasts for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, or 50 years, I'm just happy to have had this moment. And then for him, he's thinking like, why are you even thinking about an end? So I guess to a little like, especially my prior relationship, I was just like, oh my God, I didn't have the faith that it would really work, or I would be happy if it worked. Like it could have worked. I could have been married. I could have, have everything, but was I gonna be happy? I didn't think I would. So I didn't have faith in that. Like I was like, as a woman, which we don't speak on this, like I was like, if I stay in this relationship, I'll probably cheat. And not in a sexual way, cheating, wanting that validation, wanting that affection, that love. Like I would probably be at a bar, you're sitting there, we would just talk. And now I realize that you come to the bar every Friday, and now we're coming, hanging out, talking at the bar every Friday. Never have sex, probably never even have each other's number. But in my mind, that's still building a emotional and or mental connection.
I get it. I get it. I understand. Swasey, the question is about how do you feel your childhood and things you may have seen affect your approach to dating?
Well, my childhood, it kind of helped me a lot because I grew up like in split household. So I had my mom and dad was high school sweethearts, and they ended up having me in 12th grade. And basically, like my whole family went to Carol City Senior High School. My cousins, my dad had 7 brothers and sisters. There's a lot of us. I met a lot of them, And after my mom and dad had me in 12th grade, once they graduated, my dad went off to college and played football, and him and my mom, I guess, didn't work well. So they ended up splitting up, and then that's when my mom got with my stepdad, who she'd been with since I was 2 years old, and he just recently passed away about 2 years ago or a year ago. And my dad married his wife, who he'd been with since I was 2. So, and being on both sides, I was able to go to my dad's house, be with his wife, and be with my mom and her husband. And I just learned a lot because I pay attention, I learn from other people's mistakes. I watch, and I have an attentive ear. I listen how my mom talked to him and how he talked to my mom, and vice versa with my dad and his wife. And I just never seen disrespect. I never heard or seen my daddy cheat. Never heard or seen my mom cheat, stepdad, stepmom, neither or. So I think that's what helps me. That will help me with growing up. Like I could play. I could be a player. I could play all day. I could talk to 1,000 girls. I'm down for that. But if I have a girlfriend, I have a girlfriend. I'm not gonna step out. That ain't how I roll. I'd rather just split it up and just let you know, because I have morals. I got characteristics that I live by. And if I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, I'd rather just do it without hiding. I don't want to be hiding my phone, and I can't do that. That's annoying to me. I like to be comfortable. You know what I mean? I don't want to be going somewhere and then I gotta hide. Oh, baby, let's go this way because it's a girl I'm talking to or somebody. You know what I mean? I want to be comfortable. So when somebody can say, "Oh, y'all talked to me," you didn't. Not while I'm talking to her. I guarantee you that. You know what I mean? So I ain't gotta worry about that. That's annoying. Nobody want to live like that. And I just always was raised like that. I see my mom like that and my dad, and that's just something I go by. And I think that has just helped me growing up in a relationship. It actually hurts me sometimes, I guess, because like my ex, she cheated on me and stuff like that, but ain't nothing I can do about that. I'm still gonna live by my morals and characteristics.
Oh,
Dang, that's funny. Y'all laughing like I see.
No, it's not. No, listen, it's not funny at all. Like the dude that I call my that I call my dad has been there since I was two, and I've seen 20 years of dedication from my dad.
Yeah.
So I get it. I also don't like, I'm pretty sure y'all may have seen my approach. Like it's just too tiring,
Yeah. No, he means that in a good. Yeah.
You want me to keep going?
No, well, yes, but you need to hold on because
yeah.
Some questions. So I have a bunch of questions started that I'm gonna go ahead and try to ask as many as I can before we let Tyrone get back into it. But Nichelle would like to know, what is your favorite thing about each other?
Go, baby.
In what way? So it's different things, right? So I would say some of my top things are that I love the fact that we could grow together. You know, I was born in 87. He was born in 88, even though it was late 88. I love the fact that we could grow. So I love that notion of going through our pains and understanding, or even when we're driving and listening to music and be able to relate and everything is similar. So I love that. I love that we can have such a great time. Like, we literally have a great time. But even in that moment, even him as a man steps back to have real life conversations. So like yesterday, he planned a whole day of jet skiing. As we're jet skiing, he's like, babe, let's go look at some of these houses. And he's like, oh, which one do you like? Oh, this is that. How much you think this house costs? We have to, what kind of business stuff can we do to kind of really make that? Da, 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 da. So I love it. We can have fun, but we're also still thinking about building and doing things like that. I love the way, honestly speaking, I never wanted to, being that I've seen the things that happen in my family dynamics, I didn't want to have someone with the outside child, but just seeing the way that he connects with his daughter and the relationship and just how hard he goes in that way, that's super, super attractive to me, because that's important. Because like Tyrone was saying, that faith, we know everything is 50-50. You can't say for sure me and this person are going to be together and raise this kid till they're 18. And be happy and in a happy place. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like super important that if I have someone and I do decide to have a child, that regardless of whatever, that we'll be able to co-parent well. That's really important for me, because I grew up in such a blended family. So even though that whole situation happened with my mom, I joke that I want to say in 2019, my aunt, who migrated 23 of us here to the United States from Jamaica, we threw her this birthday party. And at the birthday party, it's my mom, my dad, my brother that my dad had that's a month older than me, his mom, my sister, and her mom at my mom's sister's birthday dinner. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to a structured family, regardless of whatever the situation was. My mom actually filed for my brother and sister who aren't biologically hers, and that was it before her time. It happened during them dating. So I grew up in such a blended family, and if I seen that work, it's like, it's no reason why you and someone else that have been totally done before me. So I want that. I want to have a blended family. I want to be able to do that if him and I don't work out, like how he's just said with his parents. Like, he was able to still go to different homes and still have that sense of family. So that's really important to me. So seeing how he is with that, that's cool. That's some of the stuff. Food is like one of the things that we like about each other. Even though he works out and he'll say I make him eat bad, but it's really him too. Like, in the house, grab a Rice Krispie treat. I'm like, yeah, I bought that because I knew you would like it. Like,
make me eat bad, I'm telling you.
But they were in the cupboard. He didn't have to eat that.
That's right.
I'll be on point.
She ain't force it down your throat.
But she's buying it. If she don't buy it, if I was single, I will not be eating none of that.
Because I know what's gonna happen. He is a muncher and a sweet muncher at night. And then I did buy healthiest granola in there. And so he'll wake up, or not wake up, but in the middle of the night, he's like, I'm hungry. You got something sweet? So I'm like, let me just make sure I have this in here for him.
A couple of things, exactly. What about you, Swasey? What's some or one of your favorite things that you like about each other?
I like how family oriented she is. Just like she reiterated, like, she's, you know what I mean? She blends well with my mom, my sisters. They could just kick it. Like, she, like the other day she came in town, I told her behind to go ahead and go to the house, call me when she get there or whatever. And I'm sitting there getting my truck washed, and I'm like, she ain't called me yet. She up in the house with my mom and sister. I'm just sitting there talking, chilling, and he would let me know. And you know what I mean? But that's important. I want somebody that could be able to get along with my mom, my
that's right,
sister, my family. And she went with me one time to take I take my daughter school shopping every year, like, and buy her school stuff. And I was getting I was going to get something else for her, and she went with my daughter and took her to get something else, you know. Yeah. She came back all happy, and, you know, she let her pick her stuff out. And, you know, I mean, every man should want something like that, you know what I mean, when it comes to their child and family. And I just like how she treat me, how she is around the house, you know. She gonna make sure I eat. That's one thing she's gonna make sure, and she gonna cook, and she gonna cook it fast. So and that's a good thing, you know. And she you know what I mean, she give me my space. She respect me. Baby, you wanna go to, she asked me 1,000 times, baby, you wanna go to the gym? You wanna go to the gym? Like, baby, you know what I mean? You wanna eat, what you wanna eat? You gotta be like, chill. You know what I mean? But I like that, you know what I mean? Because and when we travel, you know what I mean, we respect each other wants and needs when we traveling, what you want to do, what I want to do, and we just come into a blended decision.
Right. I love that. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. Golly, y'all froze for a second. Okay. Valencia would like to know, being a firefighter, how do you handle the female attention that Swasey probably receives?
For me, I don't know. I've never had that issue. I feel like we both created a safe place, and I've spent the block a couple of times. So with certain things that I would pay attention to. So I talk to him a lot when he's at work. So that type of stuff don't cross my mind. We have those jokingly conversations. I think he knows just as well as I know that we both could walk out here and someone could talk to us. And I mean, it happened to him literally in his face the other night. We went to a restaurant. As soon as he walks to the register, the guy is sitting there trying to talk to me. Swasey, look, he's like, what in the world? I'm not answering the guy. So we both understand that we're both going to attention. And I think we both understand, like, it's up to us. It's not about the other.
Exactly.
And the reason that I was so annoyed is that during filming, which you guys know we're not supposed to be together, out of the 6 weeks, starting on to the second week, we were together every day, all night, except 4 days. And so we had, you know, the opportunity to see phone ring. You know, I was just like, oh my God, this dude that I was talking to, look what he just texted me. He just said F me because he just seen I post you. Like, it was one of those things. We have been so open, so transparent. I have the code for his phone. And he has the code for my phone, and not like we gave it to each other. It'll just be a time where I'm just like, oh, I have no data. So I'll be like, oh, such and such. He'll just give me the codes to the point where I'm not even trying to remember it. So because we don't live in the same city, it's been times where we'll go 10 days without seeing each other. And then I'll be like, oh, I'm on the phone. He's like, you don't remember the code? Like, I'm not even trying to remember.
Right.
You know? I've never felt the urge to like go through his phone. His phone isn't ringing at night, and vice versa. Like, my phone isn't ringing. We're accounted for. So yeah, we don't have any type of insecurity on this end.
I just want to say before we go to the next question that I love you guys. No, honestly, you guys are doing it the right way. And I hope that, would you say, Tyrone, you agree, correct?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
And I hope that people watch this replay back and and I want you guys to watch this, and I want you to take notes on them, because exactly what you guys have is what honestly we all should strive to have, especially in the beginning, because it really sounds like you guys are starting off as friends. You started off as friends, and then you grew and built from there. You know what I mean? And the trust level and the transparency and the honesty, and like, golly, I tell these men all the time, if you're honest with me, like, give me the option to decide if I want to deal with you or not. Tell me the truth. Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I might be like, your good, bad, and ugly is real trifling. But you know what? I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to stick by it. You know what I'm saying? But give me that option. You know, so I just want to say kudos to you guys. I want to give you your flowers now, because I think y'all are amazing. I love to hear it. And I'm loving you, and I'm loving everything that you guys are dishing out, because there's a lot of people that need to really see this. And because my channel has turned into more like a dating channel, that this is a very healthy relationship.
And just to reiterate on that, like, some men not used to certain things, you know. Now, I'm not saying now all my life, you know what I mean, people been hollering at me. I have done well for myself, you know what I mean, growing up and everything as well. But, you know, I played football before this too, playing at the University of Miami. the same thing, you know. And you just being humble, and like I'm always thanking God, being humble, and just knowing I could have been in another position. And I'm just not taking everything that comes to me. You know what I mean? Like people take anything easily coming to them. That ain't, there's nothing good coming out of that, you know? So, and actually, I mean, whoever asked that question is right. You know what I mean? Like being my fireman, she don't know as much because she's not there. But you know what I mean? On these calls, it's ridiculous. You know, people taking pictures and all this, and just, hey, can I give you a number? Hey, they show you breast. You know what I mean? But like, you just can't get caught up in that. You know what I mean? You got to stay focused. And I tell people all the time, like my homeboy and stuff, man, don't fall for the bait. I mean, a woman gonna respect you more if you just ignoring that. Trust me, they'll like you more every time. If they don't see me running, going to that and all that, they'll like you more. Trust me. Nobody looking, they'll like you more every time. And I just try to tell them things like that.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that before Valencia asked that question. I was going to ask y'all if y'all knew each other's attachment styles. So the avoidant attachment style, anxious. I think there's a fearful one and a secure one. And it sounds like y'all are kind of secure right now. Was that security always there? Like, is that your natural attachment style, to be secure?
I think that,
or do y'all just do it for each other?
For me, that's my. I'm not an insecure person. I'm not, even though my past relationship I've been cheated on. You know what I mean? That could change a person. It still doesn't change me because it's not fair for her, for me to be a certain way just because that happened to me. You know what I mean? So I try to, you know what I mean, as much as possible, be back to normal. You know what I mean? And just you don't want to be insecure. You don't want to run somebody away from your insecurities. So like we do have each other phone, all that. But I don't care. I'm not looking through her phone. I'm not doing that. I'm not looking through her phone. I don't do that. Now, you never know. One day I may just say, you know what? Let me look through it. If you know what I mean, if I'm feeling some type of way, or you know what I mean, but I don't do that. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not trying to look for anything. But you know what I mean? I do respect her. She respect my space, but we don't, you know what I mean? I don't think she hide anything. Or I'm hiding anything. I'm pretty sure if she felt like I hide something, she gonna look through that phone.
Oh yeah.
She gonna scan through.
If she don't scan, I would have been all up and through there. I was checking recent, deleted. I'm gonna save the pictures. I'm trying to see. I mean, I've done that. Like, it's so funny. Like when I was in college, before the evolution of phones, I still remember when your phone had the Nokia and you had the battery in there and SIM cards, and you know that Nokia used to power up, and I used to literally know how to get out of the bed without having the weight shift off the mattress. Like, you can't get up too fast. Like, you have to put one leg and do all of that. Then I used to go to his side of the apartment, and then take his phone, take the SIM card out, put it in my phone, and when it boots up and it makes that noise, muffle it. Like, I did all of that. I dated a whole athlete, so I understand that. So that's what I'm saying. When I'm saying I'm in a safe space, that's not what I'm used to. So I pay attention. I dated a lot of guys that lived a player lifestyle. And so I did all of that, hanging out with them, doing this, doing that, whatever, just having fun. So I get what that is. So I pay attention to certain things. So yeah, when I say I'm in a safe place, I genuinely mean it. I'm not just saying that, because we would have already had, like I was telling him, but I'm crazy and I've been crazy in past relationships or situationships, but not that crazy. It's just like, I just want to know, get me to the point. Are we doing this or not? But, you know, slashing tires and stuff like that, no. But yelling and arguing, yeah, I've done that. Someone asked, did we know each other? I want to say that we did not know each other prior to the show. Swasey and I could both attest that the show helped us because it forced us to deal with each other every single day. I don't think if we would have met under any certain other circumstance, we would have been here today. He's not the type of person I would have dealt with. I'm not the type of person he would deal with. And before you guys ask, not just from a race standpoint, just because we are so dominant, you know, just little things that we had to learn. Like, I'm the type of girl that orders 5 different meals, you know, but he lives in Miami. So he's used to girls going out to eat, can't even afford breakfast, bowl of cereal themselves, but they'll order everything. And he probably would have thought like, oh, this girl is really here just to eat. Like, I'm going to get up and leave because she ordered everything off the menu. But he sees that I do that in real life with any single thing. If I'm getting potato chips, I'm getting 3 different flavors, opening all 3 different bags and eating them at the same time.
Right.
So he was
just like me.
Yeah,
I like options. I like options.
Yeah, no, we talked about that. We told each other, I was like, man, look, if I'd have never met you on the show, I would have never talked. I would have been stopped talking to you. That first argument, first debate, I'm gone. And that's why I was single now. Because every time we debate, I'm out. Like, I'm not, especially for something so little or something, I'm out. There's no point, I'm out. And you know what I mean? It actually helped during the process because, you know what I mean? We're stuck on the show. And you know what I mean? You say a couple things and then you end up seeing each other and you just end up talking about it. So that did help.
Yeah. And it puts you guys in a position to learn each other's ways when those situations like that, they arise. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing that Tyrone said about one of the castmates on the show. He was like, that person seems like a great person, but I need to see them in conflict. I need to see them when everything comes tumbling in. Like, I need to see how they're going to respond. And that's absolutely right. And it's good that you guys experienced that. So Dana asked, where were you guys each other's first choice?
I mean, I wasn't her first choice. She like the $1 million man.
Which one? Who, Zoe?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, baby. She ain't like me because I'm young Thundercat. I like a young player. You know how they say. Everybody say, he player, look at him, he player.
And you know what's funny? Because y'all are only a year apart. I remember like watching the show and it didn't dawn on me, but everybody was like, Swasey, he liked them older women. That's why he with Kadian. I'm like, but now you're only saying you're a year older. What is going on?
No, so to be perfectly honest, I had never watched the show. Even I never watched the show. I learned about the show from my friends who did put a ring on it, and I met some of the producers and they reached out to them and asked me, you know, they'll ask like, oh, da 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 da. And so when I went to Instagram, like hashtag the show, it doesn't have a real page for it. So I didn't really know much about it. So when I actually went to the mixer and I met Zoe was the type of guy that I would naturally date. It's in the moment. It would not be someone who I knew wanted kids. It would not be someone, it was just in the moment. He liked nice, we're gonna have a good time, and that's it. Because I didn't come to the show thinking that I was gonna remotely like anyone for real. You know what I mean? Probably have some friendships out of it, or some situations, just somebody to vibe with, hang out with. But yeah, Zoe was it. And then Swasey definitely was given play. He has like this heart, what is my heart? This tattoo right here of these lips, and it was one right here. He had his shirt off. I'm like, yeah, he in my top and my bottom. I'm like, like he was there.
She was insecure at first. She was scared. She was like, oh no, I can't handle him.
Please, yeah, right.
You're gonna get too many ladies.
I don't want to handle all of that. Like, he was one of the people that I remember I was sitting down with Zoe and he was sitting down with another girl and he looks at me and he winks his eye. I said, oh no, this nigga is crazy. At the mixer, I'm like, oh no. And then by the end of the night when we're talking, he kisses me right here. I said, oh, this is straight Playboy vibes.
I would have got that too. I would have thought that too.
Yeah.
I would have been like, he just don't give a F. I would have been like, he is for the streets, child. But I love it. I love it. So Swasey, was Kadian your first choice?
Yeah, she was my first choice. I didn't really have, you know how they make you pick 3 people. You know what I mean? Initially, the first date of mixer, no choice. I told him I'm done. I'm going home. That's what I told him. I was like, nah, I'm going home.
Is it because you felt like none of the women, the 10 women, just weren't your type, or like she wasn't there? Like, why did you feel like you just wanted to go home?
I really didn't talk to her that much anyway. We just sat down and talked for a little bit, and I go, nah, I can't talk to her. We was already like this. I'd be like, there's somebody asked me a question. So what you think about this lemon? I mean, this lemon kind of tardy, and she'd be like, no, it ain't too tardy. It's like, I'm like, oh no, I'm out. And I was every time I say something, she'll say something. Like she was all on top of me. I'm like, damn, what, you know, like a high school girl that like you. So every time you say something, she just gotta say something. I'm like, God damn, nah, I'm out. I'm getting out of here. So then we end up, you know what I mean, hashing out at the end. But I told them at the producers at the end, I told them one on one, man, I'm not coming back. I'm done. And they was like, no.
But why though? But why? Was it because you didn't feel like your match was there?
Yeah, I felt like I didn't have the connection. I felt like my match wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, and then I didn't like the whole thing. Everybody see, I know a lot of people don't know me. They just see me from this TV show and, you know what I mean, firefighter. I'm not into that stuff, man. I'm not into that. I'm not here to I'm not trying to sell nothing. You know what I mean? She got me doing that stuff now because of the whole show stuff, but my life don't depend on making sales. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get paid anyway. So I wasn't going on that show for that. And it was weird and awkward for me coming on there and no music and you got to go talk to him. Hey, go interrupt. They talk. I don't care about them and them talking. I will never interrupt them to talk. I don't give a damn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you want me to make her like me over him? Absolutely not. I'm not doing that.
Right. Like, you're not going to have me look impressed.
Exactly. Like, I'm like, no. And I was the only one all the time to say that. They'd be like, hey, Swasey, go do that. I'd be like, nope, I ain't doing it. They'd be like, why? I'd be like, because that's not me. I'm telling you, that's not my personality. I ain't doing it. And I don't want people looking at this show that know me and be like, that's not him. So I said, I ain't doing it.
Exactly.
Put a lot of content and stuff. Because I was talking less as much. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to be in the middle of nothing. I ain't trying to say nothing. Yeah. So, and then and we ended up going to the brunch. And then that's when I seen her again at the brunch. And, you know, came in looking a little swag. Oh, man, I like her. And started talking to her. And that's why I'm like, man, that's what I like right there. And then the producers would mess with me nowadays. They was like, I thought you said you ain't like nobody. See? Ooh, look at you.
I get it. Tyrone, you got anything before? Because we got a bunch of questions, but I know you got some stuff.
Yeah, it was a couple things. You know, I think the first thing is I want to address a comment I made about you, Swasey, you know, and said, I apologize and I take it back. So I had made a comment where I said, I feel like there is a person that Swasey wants to be and a person that Swasey is. Right. So just like you said, people that have that misconceptions about you, you know what I mean? But, you know, so far you have been everything that you have talked about, you know, so, you know, I'll take that back.
I mean, that's cool. I appreciate it, but I didn't know what you said. I don't be reading them comments and stuff.
No. I like to be straight up with everybody that comes on. So if I say something that I feel is even remotely any type of way, I'll let you know that I said it, and then I'll let you know my explanation behind it. You know, like you should hear some of the things I said about Caleb. You know, but that's just how I am. The other thing was, you know, I realized that you guys were able to work things out, and I feel like another thing that's important for couples is to understand, you know, your apology acceptance style. Is that something that you all discuss? Is that something that you are aware of? Like how?
A little.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna post a link. I'm gonna post a link in the comments to one. But go ahead, Katie.
I think that since the show has wrapped up, which was in June, and now we are in November, I could really count on one hand how many serious moments we've had. And that's honestly speaking. So a lot of people think, oh, they argue, you know. We definitely have moments like today at the gas station. Not an argument, but just a learning experience for us. I take my bag. We're in Miami. What area is that, babe?
Carol City.
We're in Miami and Carol City. And I had, we ordered rice, which is like some Chinese food. So we have the bag and I take it and I throw it to the garbage can thinking I'm a basketball player, right? But it's right there. You know, by the gas pump. And it misses. and someone's on the opposite side. So for him, he's like, why did you do that? If this would have fell on this man, it could have been a whole different situation. Like he could have just got slick out the mouth. In my mind, as a woman, you know what I mean? You know, call it the woman's privilege. I don't see certain things like that. And I didn't grow up in that environment. So for me, if I missed it and it fell, even if he ended up walking in that moment, you know what I mean? He would have been like, oh, I would have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was trying to, most guys would have just laughed, you know, whatever. So just learning in that moment, sometimes when he's seeing things, he's seeing it from his upbringing, his way. But then we had an argument. I don't know, it was an argument we had. And I'm used to like being in the moment. Like, I don't like to feel like you're walking away from it. And then he had to tell me like, no, I was getting up because I needed to walk away for that moment. And then, so now I've kind of let him have his moment, you know what I mean? Because I know that if I play into it, so to speak, it only heightens it and makes something that was so minute turn into something way longer or major. So I've learned to really just ignore his moments, honestly, for the most part.
And a little gas station thing, it wasn't nothing like an argument. It was just a learning curve for both of us. You know what I mean? Like we're in Carol City. You know what I mean? This is not you're not in Beverly Hills. You know what I mean? I'll just give him an explanation, baby. You throw that bag, it hit his foot. This guy say, hey, why you hit my foot? Or he talks slick. Now it's gonna force me to say something to him, and then there you go. He beat me up, I beat him up, vice versa. He shoot me, I shoot him. Now, you know what I mean? All of a bag. Just for her throwing in the trash. Baby, just give me the bag, I put it in the trash. You know what I mean? That was all. It wasn't nothing to argue about. It was just like a learning moment. You know what I mean? We not in where you know what I mean? You're not somewhere where somebody will say, oh, it's okay for hit my toe. You know what I mean? This is real world. People want conflict. Some people are, you know what I mean, very problematic. So I just try to avoid all that at all costs.
So it's got a lot of questions rolling in. Marriott would like to know, do you two interact with other couples from the show?
What other couples?
Babe, stop being stupid.
Next question. They want to know, Simplicity Digital wants to know, do y'all miss the USA flea market?
You don't know what that is.
That's the flea market that I asked you about, remember? I said, baby, wasn't this a flea market? Now it's a plaza?
No, that's not a USA.
Oh,
USA
okay.
on 79th. That's in the city. I live in Carol City. The USA flea market in Liberty City, but she talking about Carol City flea market.
Oh yeah, no, I'm from Broward, so the flea market I know is Oakland Park Flea Market, Swap Shop.
Yeah. So they said, well, I grew up in Carol City. Like I was a totally different person. I wasn't even the person I am today. When I grew up, man, I had dreads, mouth full of goals.
Oh, like, wow.
Whole 360.
Wow.
Yep. Whole 360.
You're gonna have to post a picture for us.
I did a whole thing. I was so but
like, don't do it.
When what's the girl? Amy was telling me, you know how Amy say, bring your friends for the show. I go, Amy.
They didn't have the same producers.
Oh, okay. Well, the lady Amy was like, hey, I want you to bring your childhood friend for the show. I go, Amy, my childhood friends can't come on the show. I promise you that. and she didn't believe me. I go, Amy, no, I'm dead serious. My childhood friends cannot come on the show. I'm telling you right now. I go, you want to call my childhood friend right now here in prison? You want to call him? I go, you want to call my other child friend right now here in prison too for murder? I go, you want to talk to them? I go, Amy, they're not coming on no show. I'm not bringing nobody on this show. You know what I mean? They're gonna be on there talking crazy. I'm not doing that.
Right.
You know, I'm not doing that. And so that's why I ended up having to bring someone at my previous job. You know what I mean? Not trying to try that. But right? I brought my boy Ish because you know what I mean?
Oh, honey, the ladies was loving him.
Good dude. Right?
They was loving him. Valencia would like to know, do you guys ever plan on moving out of Florida?
No. His job.
No, we won't move out of Florida, but probably when I retire, I'll probably get some properties and stuff elsewhere. You know what I mean? Start doing stuff like she said, like a restaurant in Jamaica or something like that. Good stuff. You know what I mean? We'll start doing some business. Get little tiki's up there in Tulum or something. We'll make some money.
I love it. I love to hear it. And when y'all do that, y'all need to let me know so y'all can go on my other podcast called The Missing Link, and then we could talk about that.
Okay.
So instead of me saying Swasey is a Capricorn because Kay is a Taurus, what are you guys' sign, just to let everybody know?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah, she said already I'm a Taurus. The person though.
Yeah. Okay. Next question, Panamanian 100 would like to know, are you guys in love now?
What? Of course. Baby, give me a kiss, girl. Yeah, of course.
They want to know, how old is your daughter? Because you did bring your daughter up.
My daughter's 8.
Okay. What is the biggest lesson from your past relationships, both of you?
My biggest lesson is to go with your gut instinct. What you see in the beginning, that's what it's gonna be. I got a lot of, I seen it after the fact of comments, because I was saying like I was in this 10-year relationship and he was not a sugar daddy. He was literally 2 years older than me. He's born in 85. But we grew together. Like when I met him, he had a Honda. We grew, like I had a business before he even had a business type thingy. But I knew who he was, and I still just thought things were going to change. He was a great guy, but we just didn't match. The chemistry, it just wasn't there. You know what I mean? So that was it. And I thought that things would change, or I started to think that maybe the expectations that I had were unrealistic. And funny enough, I just was telling his sister this. So many times when we aren't given 100% of ourselves, we literally will make excuses. So I'm like, well, you know what? It's okay if this didn't pan out that way, if he didn't do it this way, because I know that I've been doing this. So it's like a constant reset, because I wasn't giving it my all. What'd you learn, babe?
What? Yeah.
What I learned from my past relationship is, we talked about it, the same thing, noticing things early in the beginning, and also be careful what you say. You know what I mean? Words you can't take back. And I learned that, you know what I mean, being respectful towards each other, you know what I mean, and just talking first. And I learned that walking away, relaxing first, you know what I mean? Because you say things that you can't get back, you know? And you don't want to say things that hurt somebody's feeling, you know what I mean? You don't never want to call each other out, their names and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? It's just being respectful towards each other.
Right, exactly. Last one before I turn it over to Tyrone. Tiffany would like to know, so we do, obviously, because you've discussed it with us, how you guys handle conflict, but what was the biggest hiccup that you guys have had so far?
The biggest one? I mean, the biggest hiccup?
Well,
You mean like post show or during show? I mean, the biggest hiccup during the show was obviously the whole race, dating outside your race
Friends thing. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Upset at me for what I said. And I definitely didn't say he didn't date Black women. I just was saying, oh, I'm not your type. Like, just from him saying like, oh, he dated a girl and she would iron his socks and this and that. I'm like, well, I'm submissive, but I'm not that submissive or whatever. And just, basically just poking fun, but not on a, he don't date Black women or anything like that. And he, from what I took from it, he wasn't really upset about the conversation. It was just more of, he thought I should have stepped in and told my friend, like, okay, stop. But in my mind, I was just doing what production said. They literally stopped in the middle and said, hey, we need a red flag. And I was just like, okay, that would be my red flag. And they told her, like, yeah, we're trying to get to the bottom. We're trying to, this is going to be the hard stuff. So, I really didn't know how this was going to even pan out. And even during a part when he remembers, I stood up during and I went to the restroom and I told the producer, like, yeah, this is too much. But I probably should have just said that there, which was funny because I never gave the producers any type of kickback. Like, I was there, I never complained. They didn't have to wait on me for stuff. I wasn't the one arguing and fussing about anything production wise, other than make sure y'all have some food for me. That was it. So had I known, like I said, I was just so naive. Even when the producers come, they're like, oh, this isn't this type of show. We're talking about Black love, this and that. I was really naive about certain things. Had I known, I would have done a lot of things differently.
Honey, you speaking for all of us right now. All right, Tyrone, it's on you.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how has the additional exposure from the show affected you all? And is there a comment or a post that y'all have seen that has stood out to you that you may want to address?
I mean, it's a lot of comments. I'm not gonna say they stand out. Some have a little bit of truth. So you know what I mean? When you have strangers saying certain things, you're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like we have a good sex life. So when I see comments on Twitter and they're like, oh, all they have in common is sex, I'm like, well, we do have a good sex life. I think that is definitely important in a relationship, but that's not all we have. You know, when people say, oh, Swasey don't know how to articulate himself or this and that, or they probably don't communicate, you know, I'm like, yeah, we have moments, you know, where we don't communicate well, just like anyone else, because you're dealing with another person, you know what I mean? So you think about it, but I don't feel like I eternalize it and put it into our relationship or into us. I get more frustrated because I'm like, how did you get that from that? Like, are you that slow? Like, how did you get that? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, okay, you came up with that from that. Okay. Nothing that I want to clear up. What about you?
I mean, like a lot of people say on the show, though, they said I don't talk enough. I run from my problems, things like that, which is funny. But I mean, I get it, because they only could go by what they see. You know, it's not their fault. You know what I mean? They're viewers, and that's what they see. But I'm the type of person. I'm there for her. I'm not there for the show. You know what I mean? And I get it. I'm on a show, so I guess I'm supposed to put on the show. But I'm not gonna put on the show. I'm not a circus. I'm not a clown in a circus. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be saying anything, you know what I mean, out of pocket and just trying to get views. And when me and her was having conversations, I was getting upset at her because we had these conversations behind doors, and then you come ask me again on TV, and I'm like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not answering that question. You ask me again, you know what I mean? So it's just things like that, which, I mean, I should have answered, I guess, because it's a show, you know what I mean? I was a part of the show, so I need to give viewers something to view. But other than that, that's it for the most part. Other stuff, I don't pay attention.
How are y'all handling the additional exposure?
I mean, I'm handling it pretty well. I think she handling it as well as also. It's like, again, this is not the first time, you know, I've been a part of something. I mean, again, playing football, I got way more exposure than this, you know, and it's just I'm so used to doing that. I'm so used to being a part of something where you can't reply to certain things because you don't just affect you. It affect your family, affect your organization, it affect everything. You know what I mean? So I was just so used to that, and that's just how I always been. You know what I mean? Growing up, like that's just what it was. Like my dad teaching me, hey, you can't say the certain things to people. You can't do this because the first thing, what you do, son, because my dad also coached at the University of Miami. And he used to always tell me growing up, don't do nothing stupid. Because when soon you do something, they're going to say, Andrew Swasey's son, blah, 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 University of Miami. And then growing up, the same thing, you know? So I never was able to post stuff on Twitter because the student code of conduct used to be watching our pages and flagging us. Soon we post something, they flag us and tell us, hey, you can't post this. And same thing now with my job. I can't post anything I want to post. I can't just get on there and talk about religion, politics. I can't do that. You know what I mean? It'll affect me in my job. My job will, you know what I mean? It'll be some consequences down towards me if I was to do something like that. And so I just always try to avoid that anyway.
Well, you guys know I just say whatever.
She say whatever.
Right, me too. So I get it.
I don't have consequences like him. You know what I mean? Like I don't have anyone. I'm still a business owner, so in certain regards, certain boundaries I'm not gonna cross. You know what I mean? But as far as responding to some of the negative comments, oh yeah, I definitely will. The positive things, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it does get a little bit creepy. I'm like, baby, this person just keeps on liking and writing, and I'm like, this is kind of creepy. But yeah. I think I see someone asked about going to FAMU. I'm like a honorary FAMUan, but I went to Florida State University. So I'm here in Tallahassee, and yeah. So I'm used, just like he is, I'm kind of used to certain people being a business owner and being at my business. I'm used to going out. Like, oh my God, people wouldn't even call me Cave. People were calling me Couture. They thought my name was Couture for the longest, just my business. You go to the club, I'm like, oh, I'm Couture's in the building, like that type of thing. So yeah, it's not. Swasey, you guys know I was changing my hair. Went to the Bridgerton experience in Atlanta. Someone stopped him in line. We were in Walmart the other day. A lady came up and was like, yeah, he gets definitely recognized a lot.
At work, people station, like all the time. Like it's all the time.
Every time you talk about the U, I like you more and more. I grew up in Marathon until the 4th grade.
Oh, okay.
So in the Keys, also I was a big fan of the U. Another question that I have is there a scene or anything that had happened on the show that we didn't see that you would have liked to have been shown?
The only thing that we were just like, why didn't they show it? Like after the whole blow up with the whole Friends date, and it looked like he walked out even though he didn't. Because someone just asked about that too. You had a meeting with Sharice's friend. Someone just asked that. They didn't even make the update. So when I met his friend, that wasn't our first time talking or meeting up or anything like that. But of course, did you have to say, yeah, this is the first time Kay and I have seen each other in the argument, even though we were already past that, you know. But it would have been nice. But I get why. I guess they couldn't show that we resolve our conflict and not every moment was bad between us. That would have been, you know what I mean, to have that part.
Another thing, I don't want to focus on like the negative, but I do want to ask, are there any regrets about your connection not showing up like on the screen and on the couch and at the beach towards the end?
He wishes that we had that moment.
I mean, yeah, I told her had a moment at the end because she was just being so nervous and over there crying and want to be the first one to say something.
I crying.
Wiping.
I was wiping that sweat. It was hot. You know, I was not playing.
No, that's what it looked like. To me, it looked like you was hot. You was sweating.
Right.
No, I'm talking about sitting down, not standing up. But I'm gonna get to it. It's okay, baby. It wasn't fine. It's okay. So she want to be the first there, but it's cool. I give it that. It's okay.
Was there a point in the show? So I know you all talked about like how you all like really, really made up after the show, but was there a point during the show where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go try and make this work? And do you feel like that's something that we saw on screen as well? Because I feel like at that date with the bow and arrow thing, I was kind of caught by surprise. I was like, uh-oh, I think I see something there.
Yeah, no.
So what do y'all think?
Yeah, we've been connecting from the entire time. It just wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't showed on TV as much, but it just showed our disagreement.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, even at the it was just a way to build up. Like by that time when you see us at the archery date, we're literally have this like funness to us. When he said, "Oh, you miss me," and I'm like, "Nope." It's just our banter, you know, like messing with each other. We talk together every day, all day at that point. You know what I mean? We literally went after that date and hung out till like 2:00 in the morning, knowing that we had to get up for filming at 10, 11 o'clock the next day type thing. That was our usual for us. So no, I think the good thing about it that we didn't care is that we literally build a connection off screen. So that's why some of the conflict seems so intense, because it's just like, boy, I just woke up with you this morning. Are you really going? That's how I was feeling that day at the brunch. I'm like, we just was on the phone talking to each other, and now I come here and you're not even going to acknowledge my presence. Like we just wasn't on the phone. And so I'm like, hey, are we having this argument for real? In vain? Like what is going on? So at this point I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I told him, like, once you leave, I'm leaving. Like if he would have got eliminated at the getaway, in my mind as I'm standing there, I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? What do I do? Like, because I don't want to sit here and be fake and act like I like anybody else either. So I'm gone.
So I just want to give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I just want to give Simplistically Digital a shout out. Thank you so much for the super chat. So appreciated. And Dolores Hurst, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys rock. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Tyrone, did you have anything else real quick? Because I want to get to some of these questions too.
Of course, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
This is fun for me. Like, this is fun. Yeah.
Right. So did both of you come on the show? Did you apply or were you recruited? Like, did the producer slide in your DM or did you actually fill out the application?
I was recruited. But
Yeah.
I told you, my friends did put a ring on it. And so that's when she reached out to me. Shay and Fonzo are my friends from Put a Ring on It. And so they reached out to them. They reached out to me. I was like, oh, no, girl. And then that's how that happened. She's like, no, just contact the girl and, I'm going to give her your information. And I was like, okay.
What about you, Swasey?
They sent me a DM. And
so
like,
you both were recruited.
Yeah.
We watched the show for the first time together.
Like, yeah, I don't watch TV at all. Like, I literally don't watch. She writes me about movies and stuff. I'm like, bro, I don't watch TV. When I watch TV, I'm watching football.
This is the only TV I have in my house, and I don't even have cable.
Like, I don't watch TV. I'm always gone. I never was in that. I'm always out. Like, I don't watch TV. So
that's crazy. I feel like I'm the only one that I know that filled out the application. Everybody was recruited.
Spoke on it. Brandy, she watched the show. She said that she was like an avid, person who watched it, and she is a fan of the show. I know that for sure for her.
Yeah. Acapella would like to know when, Swasey, when did Kay meet your daughter for the first time? And how did you determine it was the right time to introduce Kadian to her?
She asked.
Well, when was it though? I mean, it was like before school started, it was school shopping.
But she asked, remember? We were doing something and she called about going somewhere.
Oh, my daughter did ask.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. She asked. I thought you said the lady.
No.
Oh no. My daughter watched the TV show, right? Because her grandma watched the show. So my daughter was like, "Daddy, I see you on TV with that girl." She said it just like that. She go, "When I'm gonna meet her? When you gonna introduce me to her?" Just like that. And I go, her name's Siri Swasey. I go, "Siri, what you talking about?" She go, "I see you with that girlfriend, your little girlfriend." She told him, "When you gonna meet? When you gonna introduce me to her? We're gonna go get ice cream, take me shopping, then you can bring me back home."
How old is she again? You said 9?
8.
Honey, that sounds just like my daughter.
So I ended up picking up school shopping, and so I brought Kay with me. And how I knew, and Kay is the only girl that I besides my last relationship, because I was with her for about 3 years and everything. We had a house together and all that stuff. But she's the only person ever been introduced to my daughter. You know what I mean? And I don't introduce people to my daughter. Like, you can forget that. Yeah. I don't. You know what I mean? Thinking it's okay for her to be just me. You know what I mean? So I wasn't doing that.
That's right. That's right.
I just knew, because you could just tell Kay is a family person, how she is, her personality, and just, you know what I mean? It's just genuine how she is with her niece and things like that. I pay attention to stuff like that. And I just know she won't treat her wrong. I can leave her behind and she won't treat her wrong with no intention. And that's how I felt like it was the right time. And just by my daughter even just saying that, you know?
He didn't even tell the story good. Let me tell the story. So he calls. Well, the first thing was, it was 2 separate conversations. One conversation was about the show. And she was like, "Yeah, I see your little girlfriend." But she thought I was a whole different girl. Like, she was mixing up. She's 8. So in her mind, she was like, saying something about the other girl she thought it was or whatever. Like, she knew it was me, but I think just putting all the different faces, you know what I mean, in that moment. And then another time he called, it was a weekend. Me, him, and his mom were gonna go somewhere, get something to eat, I think. Yeah, we were gonna go out. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, me, Kay, and Mima, we're gonna go get something to eat. And she was like, well, what about me? And then she was like, you know what? I'm busy this weekend, but next weekend, can we have an ice cream day? But on Friday, like had it all mapped out. And I want to meet her, and then we could go get ice cream, we could get something to eat, and then you could bring me back home because I want to play with my cousins. And then she called like, well, when are we going? Because, you know, I don't live there. And I'm like, so that's how that kind of happened. But it was just so funny how she's like, making demands and she planned the whole day.
That's so cute, though. I love it. I live for that. Oh, my daughter, honey. I was like, I got to make sure I make the right choices and decisions and right actions on screen. Because my daughter, she was 9 at the time. I was like, baby, how you feel about mommy going on the show? She said, you could go on the show, but don't be kissing nobody. I was like, oh, if y'all watch my season, y'all notice I ain't kissing nobody. I was like, all right, mommy, pinky promise. So I pinky promised. So I definitely didn't kiss anybody. Too cute.
We watched a little bit of that. Potomac season, the last season? We watched some of that.
Mm-hmm.
This when I was hashtagging, you came up a lot. I still remember you had the blonde short hair and you used to wear those flowy dresses. For some reason you came up, but you know, it's not an actual page dedicated to it.
Right.
Well, that's what I do remember.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. my story was a little different because and it's so crazy because I thought that America was gonna like hate me for real because of the decision that I made, because I, you know, made the right decision for me. I was like, screw the show, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm so glad that you guys, and that was some of the questions that I had too, like, because once y'all decided to end, it was like when we were on the show, they were strict with us. So that's why when y'all were posting like y'all's relationship, I was like, hold on. I'm like, we on episode 7 and they together. I was like, what is going on?
It was on accident first and then it was deliberately. They called me. They called me. Mm-hmm.
And they told you to take it down, right?
And then I said, tell me where, like, oh yeah, I went there. Like, because I'm going to do that. Tell me, what did I do? Because you're not, it's about being, I feel like they want to have that intimidation factor. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving away the ending because clearly that's not how we end. We didn't end together. I said, I'm not giving away any show in the episode. I was like, it was a point when I said, yeah, I'm going to tell our love story because on next episode, unfortunately, you won't see something like that. And then I'm like, yeah, but you guys had already aired the trailer for the next episode. Like I posted on that Monday. That clearly means that you guys had already aired that we're getting into this argument on Friday. But yeah, and I was like, you know what? We're on the phone. I actually merged Swasey in on the phone because when they called me, I was like, I'm busy. I was busy, and I called back and I was like, yeah, they called me. And I'm gonna call you when they called me back. When I called them back, and so when he's calling, he's reading the thing over and over. He's going through every single post. I'm like, no, tell me where this is that. I was like, you know what? Why don't you do this? Because go through it again. You either email me, text me, or call me, and you let me know exactly what the discrepancy is and if it's something that can be fixed. He's like, well, what about if you just take it all down together? I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, yeah. Come on. Because I will go there with you in the courts.
Wow. I was so jealous. I was like, Dad, we couldn't do none of that.
It's about reading those fine lines.
Yeah, I get it. But you know what? We gonna move on because every time I think about it, I get upset because I lost so many great opportunities. Tyrone, no, I lost so many great opportunities because they were so strict on us. But I remember you said your daughter's name and you said her last name was Swasey, and Ravine says, wait, Swasey is his last name? So
that's my last name. But SWASEY, not YZE.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think it's YZE because for a long time I was spelling it YZE, and I didn't know y'all social media or anything. And then when I finally saw it, I was like, wait a minute, it's Swasey, not Swasey. I was like, oh shoot, I was wrong the whole time. But yeah, so everybody Swasey. Do you want to let everybody know what your first name is?
First name Andrew.
Oh, do you call Swasey or do you call him Andrew, Kadian?
Most of the time, Swasey. Some days when I'm talking to him, Andrew, either being funny or being serious. My parents call him Andrew. They do not call him Swasey at all. Unless I know my mom did one time, and we like, oh yeah, she meant that because she actually called you Swasey. Me and him travel a lot, and my mom was like, "Do Swasey even have a job?"
Yes. I think I would work.
Yeah, because you only work like probably 4 days out the week, right?
8 days out the month.
I work 9 days out the month. So I get a week off every month, and then and how it works, I can have people work for me with my vacation days. I could take like 3 months off at a time if I really wanted to. You know what I mean? But I just don't, because I love my job. I love going to work. So so a lot of overtime and stuff like that. But so her mom was like, do we even work? Like, she don't believe I work because I'm always gone.
Right.
So she didn't believe me.
That's crazy. So this is not a question, but Jay made this comment, and I started and I wanted to say it out loud because I think this is a great comment. Jay says that, and shout out to Jay, she is a soulmate. I hope this shows Black men that Black women with strong personalities are an asset to have. Kadian is a strong, beautiful Black woman who also caters to her man and gives him room to be himself. So I just wanted to say that out loud. I'm giving you guys the flowers because I think that, yeah, absolutely. Like that was
everybody. And it was so funny because people think like, oh my God, it was like Swasey blink twice if you're being held captive by Katie. And I'm like, I don't have to hold no man captive.
Well, speaking of that, they want to know, do you cook ackee, saltfish, callaloo, plantains? You know what I mean?
I do cook everything, but I don't like ackee. But yeah.
Cook. And like, even on the show, they was trying to, like, when it was like, who do you want to get off? And you know how you do your votes? Everybody was like voting for her to be off or whatever. Like, everybody was voting for her to be off, except I think it was LJ. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. And then that's what I told him. I go, man, look, man, I like Kadian. So, I mean, she gone, I'm out of here. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm out of here. And somehow they end up doing what they do, and she stayed on the show. And then that's the funny part, because so when I said that, now everybody want to start figuring out, damn, well, why he like her? Now everybody's trying to start figuring out. Now everybody's trying to get to know her a little more, trying to figure out. I'm like, oh, Lord, now everybody don't follow me. Y'all ain't like her. Maybe trying to, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's how it always is. What you about? Because Tyrone looked like he itching. What you about?
I was going to ask about relationships that you've gained from the show, or may have lost from the show, or some you don't even care about from the show. Because our cast is pretty cool. I'd say about 85% of us is still cool with each other. And we don't see that from other casts, so it's just trying to get an idea.
That's good.
We're outsiders.
Yeah, we kind of like stay to ourselves for the most part. The reason being is because I think, you know what I mean, me and K are both alike. We keep everything blood raw 100%. No gray area. You either in or you out. You know what I mean? And just watching certain things and certain people do, that draws me away from you. If you come to me and talk about somebody else, I know you'll do the same thing to me. I'm not talking to you. That's not me anyway. I'm not no type of dude to be. No, man, I got a million friends. I got a bunch of friend homeboys and all. I already have that already. You know what I mean? I don't even hang with them. Like, I still go by myself. When I'm in Miami, I normally go to bars by myself. Like, I always do that. That just was me. I go to a club and get a table and be by myself. I may call my cousin every once in a while, but I don't like to be around too many dudes. Too many dudes cause a lot of problems. I don't know what you done did. Me growing up is different. I don't know what my homeboy done did. I don't know if he in beef with somebody and I'm with him. Guess what? The old innocent fireman always gets shot. Man, in the wrong place, wrong time with the wrong people. So it's a lot of things I pay attention to as far as that, and you know, and just I'm just not with all that he say, she say, and I just don't try to get in the middle of that. And she's the same thing, and we used to set each other. I'd be like, babe, I told you, faking the whole time. Look at that.
Right. I think what irritates me more, and I am going to name drop, he hates when I do this, but I'm going to be very vocal. Like today, we really don't watch a lot of interviews until like after the fact. It'll be one of those things we're really worried about ourselves, and then another interview will pop up. So I think what irritates me more is people are not being truthful with their intentions. And then it's okay if you just say I was just faking it or this and that. So today I watched this interview with Samson, and he basically wants to insinuate I'm a liar. Did I lie about being friends with Sharice? Yes, out of respect for my situation at the time with Swasey, because he already confided in me and I was there. It wasn't even like he came back and told me he say, she say. She actually called him to talk about me in a bad way while I was sitting there. So it was no choice but for me to know that. You know what I mean? After we all were just on a three-way phone call the night prior, and she's like, oh my God, guys, all of that type of stuff. So I'm like, this bitch is real life delusional. So I find it funny that Samson wants to paint this liar per thing, like, oh, we seen it as she lied. Yeah, I did lie about that. And I told it before anyone said it, that I lied about that.
But don't say you lied, baby, because you didn't lie. She was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
That was she trying to say, because she wrote, how you write somebody, like, say if I know you talk about me, Tyrone. Hey, yeah, what's up, bro? Yeah, you my dog. And then you be like, and then tomorrow you say, hey, I thought I was your dog. Man, no, I lied. You ain't my dog. You know what I mean? You just talking like being sarcastic. And that's what she did at that dinner table. Right. She wrote her the next day, hey, no, we cool, we friends, don't worry about it. Being sarcastic. And then when she get to the table, she go, but you just text me the other day. Yeah, I lied. But you know what I mean? Because other people don't see on the show that what was going on behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Like, it's because I just left the interview, or they just had an interview. I was in the car with Katie, and she called. I'm like, oh, shit. What's up, Sheree? Yeah, I'm so tired of this bitch. Just like screaming like, oh, damn. What happened? Who? I thought somebody about to fight or something. Your little girlfriend. Oh, shit. And I try to like hear her pick up the phone, but she's like, no, give me the phone. And then she just, I can't stand that bitch. And then I got off the phone. And then she tried to call, and then she won't answer and answer.
Yeah, I tried to call her right then and there.
I'm like, oh, Lord. And I was like, baby, just play the game, man. Just sometimes you got to avoid shit. Just chill. Just play the game. That's what I'm trying to tell her. So that's why on the whole time of my show, she looking crazy. She looking like the one that got a problem with everybody. She just hates Sharice, or she just like, no. This girl was talking behind her back, and she didn't know she overheard her. You know what I mean?
But it wasn't
she was trying to avoid it.
It wasn't even that. This girl used to be on three-way phone calls with us. We had a group message, all three of us. We hung out off screen, even though we weren't supposed to, all three of us. And he would be all over me. So imagine you're chilling with someone, they're telling you like, oh my God, I got your guys back, y'all need to make it work. And then she's calling him, talking about me, and then saying, and I'm gonna give you a facial, and I'm gonna do this. I'm thinking she has him in her top, like how I had Samson in my top, just out of us, each
other.
And so my whole thing, to wrap it up with Samson, is he takes that to back up his thing, because he doesn't like the fact that on that scene, when I said Samson is, he's been telling everybody the same thing, and he did, but he didn't like me. And I don't think Samson liked me. Let's be clear. And I didn't like Samson. But what he did when me and Swasey got into it, he called me and he's like, I just want to let you know that you have other connections here, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, whatever. So after that scene aired, he called me. He was like, hey, like, how did you feel like, it was something? I was like, you remember when you called me and you were telling me, like, I hope that you understand you have other connections here. Then he's like, yeah, that was just the process. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but don't make it seem like I just pulled that shit out my ass. But then if you listen to his interview, he wants to say how he was just doing the process, which validates my story. You called me, you were saying things for the process, homeboy. I didn't lie. You're lying. Just like you lied and made it seem like you had a connection with someone that you really didn't. That's the type of things that I really have an issue with. Don't assassinate my character. I could hold up to everything that I do wrong or good, bad, but don't make it seem like I'm lying. No, you were the one playing the field. And 1 minute on his interview, he's saying, oh no. The interviewer is like, but you said on the reunion that she should have known. And I was take up for Sharice. I don't even talk to her. But the reality is that conversation happened because she didn't know. That was the whole thing. You weren't treating her no different than anything.
Right.
Those are the things. That's why we don't have relationships with some of these people, because even now they don't want to live in their truth.
So is that why he said on Kojo's interview that Swasey's going to be mad at him? Because of what he said, and what he was saying was because he wasn't being truthful about Kadian?
No. He was saying him and Swasey have their own situation. Like, he says a very underhanded shit. And then, like he says, Why are you calling me? I remember he ended up doing a voice message. This is not his first time doing it. And he'll always call me and say certain things. Just the lies. Like I said, he tried to have Swasey come out with his Spanish girlfriend and her friends and all this stuff. Then it's just like, you have to pay attention. And this is things that I don't like. He's like, I didn't invite Swasey to the club. I've only been to the club 2 times. Yeah, and I'm like, Mango's is a club. It's like when you go to freaking a restaurant in Miami and they lights is low, music is playing, however you want to say it. But let's not focus on the fact that I said the club. Boy, you invited him out with girls, knowing that he was in a relationship. Swasey puts the phone down, but it's still on speaker, and he hears him in the background like, yeah, y'all gonna love my boy Swasey. He real nice looking guy. What are you doing? What are you doing, sir?
Yeah, and then that's the thing. She like that. He said he had his interview. I don't watch that stuff, but she was watching it. So then I'm just packing out over him. I go, damn, he just lied like that? Seriously? Like, you know what I mean? I don't get into that stuff, but this dude, and then he go to her. First of all, he goes to her. It's like, I don't like that. I don't play games like that. I don't do that, bro. How old is this guy? This guy 50 years old. And I'm like, bro, I'm 33 years old. I ain't doing none of that. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm never talking about another man. I'm never doing stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff that he's did on the show that I should have been checked him about that anyway. But I wasn't trying to do that because I'm not trying to come to the show with conflict. I'm not trying to slap nobody. I ain't trying to get there because I know how I get. So I was trying to avoid all that. Like, during the show the whole time, he telling other people, I'm gonna go in and go to the gym and work out today. I know you want muscles like Swasey. Like, why are you like? What is wrong with you? Like, and then he's saying to Sharice, I noticed during the interview, the whole time you had your interview, you were staring at Swasey. Or every time we have a conversation, you're just looking at him, and I'm trying to talk to you. Like, what do you like me or something? Like, what do you like? What's wrong with you? And then we have the interview. Not the interview.
She good. She good. She good.
We posted something. I forgot. Kay posted, and then he writes on there, "Hey, damn, I'm so proud of you and my boy Swasey, blah blah." And then
on the Ready to Lie page,
I'm at Lead 'Em Alone. I'm so proud of him and my boy Swasey together. And then you call me next week. Hey, what's up, man? My ex in town with some group, friend girls. And it's gonna be me and you and them. Let's go hang out, man. Bro, what I look like a dummy? Man, find somebody. You know what I mean? That's what I want to say. But I said, hold on, let me check to see if I'm working or not. And when I have it on speaker. Man, I went to looking, and when I put it on speaker, I hear him saying, "Yeah, that's my boy from the show." You gonna like, man, find somebody to play with, bro. Nah, I ain't going. I got work tomorrow, and that was it. And I'm like, man, and then I call her. That's why I call her.
Because they were playing games. I think they thought, especially just the persona of him, that he was playing games with me. You know what I mean? So I think that's where it stemmed from. And I'm just like, but why? But why? And I don't need you calling me I just called her to just give her that. You don't call me any other time. So don't call me. Don't send me a voice message. Don't text me. And don't build this whole thing up. You know, a liar is something that I'm not, and he knows this. Like, we wouldn't be here if I didn't live in my truth. I live in my truth. Anything that I do, I could own up to it. You know what I mean? But how can you in the same breath want to call me a liar because of what Sharice told you, but then you're bashing her, and then you're saying she knew that I didn't like her. She did this for the scene with her business. Like, shut up. Like, it's not making sense. It's like saying, yeah, I'm going to believe the devil right now because it benefits my story. And I have a big issue with that. Just say I was just doing this process. Yeah, Kay may have gotten that from there because I was just doing the process. I was just being nice and I could handle that. But don't sit here and call me a liar. And liars are the worst things that I hate. Bitch, I will slap you too. God, yeah, like that's how I feel in that moment. So anyway, the cast, that's what we deal with. We deal with so many different things. LJ is cool, LJ is cool. And I just feel like also being a woman in a relationship, I wouldn't necessarily hang with guys. So I'm not going to go hang with guys. I wouldn't build a relationship with these guys. I'm not going to the club with Justice by myself or things like that. And then I had friends and I still have friends outside of the show, but I'm cool with Jamala. I'm cool with Looney. Dominica hangs with us all the time. Like even when anything, like we've been to her and we don't have to post it. That's another thing. We're not all the time with my castmate, this and that. Like
some of that stuff be so fake to me. You understand?
Oh my God, I get it.
Fake to me. I just don't get it. It's like, have you done anything in your life besides graduate high school or college? Jesus Christ. It's like everything is like
accomplishment.
let me show me. It's a compliment.
It's like a photo op.
Yeah, like what are you?
Yeah,
right.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. It's like
Dominica was, and I'll talk about this because she posted it on Instagram.
I'm going live. Y'all got questions and answers for me. I'm about to go live. First of all, who do you think you are?
Like originally, we were not gonna do any interview.
You just did a little dating show, man. It's okay. It's all right, man. It's just a little dating show. Like, chill out, man. You're a nobody, man. Go handle your business. Go get your life together. Like, chill out. That's annoying. I hate people who try to seek attention. That annoys me, and I don't like it.
Right, because we are not celebrities.
That's what everybody think, though.
We really are not.
It's like,
I got so many questions. Let me say this first. Let me ask you this first. Do you think, because it sounds like to me from what Kadian just said and what you just said, Swasey, do you guys feel like that Samson might be slightly jealous of you guys? Like he was purposely doing things, trying to put you guys in situations to cause conflict?
I don't think that.
I won't say that. I don't know, so I won't say that's what he was intentionally doing, but I don't know what he was doing. Like it was just weird. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, what? Like it's a lot of stuff that's, you know what I mean, that's been said to me that I already know that's what it was, but I didn't say anything. I just kept it in my back pocket. I just analyzed. And I just watched.
I think because some of them are so full of shit, they just thought like everyone is full of shit. And I probably would have been full of shit had I not had a true connection, but I would have. It's just like a lot of things don't make sense to me. And it shows just how much of a show it was for. Like if you go, and I don't know if it's there, but I remember someone commented on Sheree's page. When they commented on it, it landed me on her page because we don't follow one another. And I actually said something to him. And they were posting each other or posting the clips, and the hashtags was like Black love, relationship goals. And he would heart-eyed it underneath the comments, like playing along like they really had something, building up that suspense for viewers. And I'm just like, but you're in a whole relationship. We wrapped up filming on Saturday in June, and Samson says that he got in a relationship. This is what he said out of his own mouth at the reunion with someone on the Sunday. So that goes to show you the type of intentions you had. But let's take it an even step further, because I didn't even realize this. So you were in a relationship in June, right? In June, but you were hanging out with your ex-girlfriend in July and invited him out with the ex-girlfriend in July. Those are the type of men we're dealing with. And that's the facts. The facts is he said that he was in a relationship June, because we finished filming the second weekend in June. So that Sunday, he said he was in a relationship. Swasey was here for a party I had during July 4th weekend. He texted Swasey. He was like, I'm so happy for you guys. Da, 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 da. He even wrote that on the Ready to Lie page because we didn't know that our trailer was dropping. And Swasey had posted my TikTok or whatever, just being funny on his page. And when they posted it and they talked about us, you know, like, oh, we have a couple potential whatever. He's like, I'm so happy for my bro and sis, you know, da, 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 on the thing or whatever. So you knew. And he called me and I told him that we were dating and everything like that. So he knew. When he called me back in June, he says, yeah, you know, Swasey don't like sisters. And I was like, really? That's funny because we're damn near, you know, together. At this point, we weren't in a relationship yet.
And that's what made me tell her right there, because I'm not that type of person. You invite me out, whatever, I wouldn't have said nothing to my girl. I would have been like, man, no, I'm good. And that was it. But
he likes
her and be saying, I don't like sisters and doing all that.
Yeah, like he kind of threw you under the bus a little bit.
Exactly. And then now you calling me, invite me out, man. That's weird. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what's wrong with Buddy? So that's why I had to call her and tell, babe, man, how about the same dude that just said I don't like sisters and all that? He called me, invite me out with his ex and his friend. I'm like, what is wrong? Like, is he like, what is he doing? Like, I don't understand. What is his intentions?
Me and Samson had dates. Yeah, it was actually on my Meet the Friends date. We had a date by ourselves, and you know, it was nothing. I never had any issues. And realistically speaking, I thought Samson was a stand-up guy. And Swasey was like, you girls are so naive. I really did.
I kept telling him that for day one.
So it's so funny. Even with Sharice, I was the one vouching for him with Sharice. The whole like I said, with the whole sugar daddy comment, it was two situations that Sharice could have had that from: a conversation with me, inviting her out with a friend. And then even when it came to Samson, and she was saying things, and I'm like, well, you know, he's a good guy. You know, he's going to be respectful. Y'all going to have fun. He's retired. At least he's financially set. You could change the way he dressed. I was vouching for him as a man, but he don't know all of this. You know what I'm saying? But I was. I mean, every guy I vouched for, even everyone, even Mike, I was just like, you know what? I think that guys could change regardless of whatever his lifestyle. If he was doing da-da-da-da, I think that he genuinely likes her and that he could change. But then it's a lot of indiscrepancies with certain things. And then I'm like, okay, never mind. I was rooting for Kayla and Jamala and Randall. I was on the phone walking him through the whole situation to the point it caused friction with me and Kayla because she thought because I was closer to Jamala, I was taking sides. Mm-hmm. You know, it's one of those situations. I didn't have anything negative to say about anyone other than Sharice and even Shakira. I wouldn't have anything negative to say about her had she not done a lot of different things. So when I realized that people are so strategic when the cameras are rolling, it's just like, oh, okay, I get it. You're prim and proper, you know. Oh my God, I'm so hurt. Then when it's not rolling and we're in the vans going to these locations, it's, oh, why do y'all let me in the car with these girls? Take me the hell out of here. That's what I went through right before the dinner. Hence, that's why Jamala asked, like, is the issue with me? Because we didn't know. She literally was like lashed out. So at this point, I'm like, okay, it's making sense. Maybe it is me. So I'm finding it cynical. I'm like, oh, well, is it me? Yeah. She went on a live and she also insinuated that I had sex with Mike. Me and Mike never have a connection ever, but it was a scene where they did a voiceover because I asked Zoe when was the last time he had sex, and they put it with me and Mike, and I was eating the ribs at the archery, and she was doing her live with her counterpart, and he said, and she over there eating them ribs and asking that man when the last time he had sex, like, does it matter? You're not having sex with him. And she says, well, we don't know now, do we? I said, oh, this bitch got life all the way. It's things like that no one sees. So when I'm at the reunion, I'm like, I'm never apologizing to this person, like, ever. They're like, she has no type of no, I don't.
Yeah, so so much to unpack. Because we've had quite a few people on, you know, to interview them. And when you hear them say it, it's one thing. And then you see them again, you know, it's totally different. And like Swasey was saying, like, guys know guys, right? So we're in the presence of a guy, like we can see how he move, right? Mm-hmm. You can't really hide from that, you know what I mean? And me personally, I'm just watching it on screen. And another thing that I try not to do is I try not to go to the social media. I try not to look at the other people's posts and all that stuff because I don't want to be swayed about what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling.
Right. When we're doing our reviews and stuff like that. Exactly.
And there were some like really specific questions we asked to try to get to the truth, you know, with no way that anyone can deny anything, like just straight up asking a question. And we've been getting different answers for different people. And I did see the interview last night, and it was not good at all. It was not good. Like even get to the point where he asked a man about his sexual preference. Like, I don't even know how or why that is even, you know, a question if we're talking in an interview. You know, if you're interviewing it.
Samson asked someone that?
Yeah, and it's not the first time. It's not the first time.
Because I literally ask him through. I'll be like, okay, let me see what's part. Okay, I hear. Okay, let me go back. I don't necessarily. I'm not that enthralled in other people.
Yeah. So, like I said, a lot to unpack. I'm happy y'all was able to open up about that. It's just asking.
Then I get blamed. I get this whole I'm a mean girl role. No, I'm not mean, but if I see bullshit, I'm gonna call bullshit out.
Exactly.
It's another interview with another cast member, and he is saying that, oh yeah, I had experience. I was dating this girl, I dated this, and in my mind, I'm like, how could you have had this experience if you've been with your childhood sweetheart and you've only been divorced for 3 years? Like, it's it's not adding up to me. It's just like certain things like that. That's how I think as a woman. You get what I'm saying? Okay,
Yeah.
I have a divorce. And these are questions I would ask. So when it asks, it looks like, oh, Kadian is just such this and that. But for me, yeah, this is common sense. Like, and when you're in a relationship, you don't just leave the day. It has to get to that point. Sometimes you'll still be in the same household, not in the same room. Sometimes you're there, but you're not staying there. You might go see at your sister or get another place, like before a divorce is finalized. A divorce don't just happen overnight. So because I asked those hard questions, now it looks like I'm such a mean girl. Like even with the Zoe situation, they didn't show it, but by the third time we interacted, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely has something to hide. So yeah, I'm not gonna play these games. We could play, but I'm not gonna play and act like I'm liking you for real, for real. No.
It's so much I want to say, and then I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't say nothing.
I feel like we had to get you warmed up, Sabrina. I can see it. I can feel it.
I don't know. This is just, for me, in this situation, it's just really, really, it just puts me in an awkward position. Let me say that. Because one thing about me, because I'm like you, Kadian, and I think that's why, like, a lot of people, they either love me or a lot of people just do not like me, because I keep it 100 all the time. And, and with me being on my platforms, I've always been 100. And one thing I said about Samson in the very, very, very beginning, it was like episode 2, like it was a panel review that we had, because after every episode we did panels where it was, a bunch of us on the screen, and we talked about you guys' episode, every episode. And I want to say by episode 1, 2, we had a panel, and I was on there. Was a couple of us on there, and It's J Dub was on there, and he and we were like the only ones that was like, Samson seems cool, but it's something about him. It's something about him. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something about him. And everybody was praising him to the point people were like looking at me and J Dub like, y'all tripping. Y'all just don't know a good man when you see a good man.
Yeah.
Sabrina must have been hurt so much in her life. She can't even recognize a good man when she see one, because he's obviously a good man. Sabrina's done had so much trauma that she can't recognize an amazing man. And I'm just like, okay, I'll take that, y'all. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And one thing about me on my platforms, I always love it when we can agree to disagree. You know what I mean? Like, give me the hard questions, say what you mean, don't butter it up. A lot of people, might feel that way, and that's how they feel. Absolutely. And if you want to come for me, it's cool, because I have a very, very strong heart, and I've been doing this a long time. Like, it ain't too much that you could say to me and to make me feel, because it's, I had to go through a lot and endure a lot when I was a child. So what y'all doing now is nothing compared to what I had to go through. So give it to me. So I had a lot of people like go on me because of that. And it's so unfortunate, because that's why I said it's challenging for it. It makes me feel like I really tried to give Samson the opportunity to show me differently, and it's just, it has been an unfortunate situation, because everything that I'm hearing and everything that I keep seeing is just reverting back to exactly how I felt on episode 2, and it's just an unfortunate situation, because as much as when the show was aired, he had America in love with him. And it was probably the 2% of the people. And I think we said that when Jeremy was on with me too. It's only like 2% of people that really felt like it was something about Samson. And the 98% of people were attacking us 2%, and it's just that the more and more, and I told Samson, I was like, you just need to log off, bro. I was like, don't do no more interviews. I was like, you need to go heal. You need to really, and I said, because what you're doing is, and I don't think he realizes it, but he's making it worse. The more and more he talks, he's constantly digging his grave deeper and deeper.
Addictive, like everything about it, like. And oh my God, one of the things that I did pick up from the interview, and I don't even want to talk about him, but this is me being an observer. It's like, no, they wanted to show my good side, and I wanted them to show my bad side. I stood up at dinner and I said this. You didn't say it like that, Samson. Stop the foolishness. But then when he's talking about the fact that Sharice sent him home and they showed that bad side out of everything, why couldn't they show the whole other 90%? Well, wait a minute, dude. You just said that you wanted them to show your bad side. Now you are mad. The bad side, line up. But that's why I said a lot of things came into production because they want. And I've been saying this before Samson even started doing these interviews. If you any interview that I've done, even stuff, I say because they wanted to play Samson in such a great manner, they had to play me as the terrible person. Because if they would have showed some of the light on Sharice in the negative way, it would have been like, well, why would this great, outstanding man choose someone like her?
Right.
It wouldn't have made sense. You know what I mean? But now you're saying, oh, I love this. Like, I think it was one other thing where he said, like, oh, the first person I seen was Looney, but I know for a fact Looney came to the mixer late, and that him and Sharice on a previous interview, I think Sharice said like that they were talking since day one. So it's like, come on, just because you guys are not in a good space now with your lies, don't say that. Don't discredit her or make it seem it. Don't sit here and say she knew that I was never into her. Sharice is a lot of things, but she has no problem finding a man. If she knew that you were just not into her, she would have not been voting for you. I know
exactly.
Not been voting. Her pause on someone else. She would have made an alliance with someone else. She wouldn't have done that. Not to say that Sharice really wanted him, because she was already bending what she wants to be with him, but don't make it seem like you were just so clear, which backs up the statements in the ladies' lounge. He wasn't giving her what she needed. And that's what we were all saying, like, right. All of this across the board. You know what I mean? I mean, this man had a whole girlfriend the Sunday after. That says enough. I mean, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. And it's such an unfortunate situation, because one thing that, I know Samson feels like that editing had a lot to do with why people feel the way that we feel about him, or that they feel about him. But in real life, it's everything that he's done. He has created whatever that was shown on TV. It's to the point now where we don't even care what was shown on TV. It's all these interviews and everything afterwards. And it's like, the stuff just isn't making sense. And
to be in a good light. Why are you? It was just so happened that when I'm doing the interview with Kojo, he sends me the voice message. But did you hear his disdain for me on Kojo on the other interview?
It's because he's trying to be strategic.
Right.
It's like, I don't know if
it is, and he don't.
Oh, I don't it, but I it just blows my mind. As you're 50 years old, how old is he? And he's looking for publicity. Like, what are you gonna do with it? Like, I'm so confused. Like, when you look at certain things, I tell her, like, look at Oprah Winfrey Network. When she posts something, guess who makes sure he say something so he get followers? When Carisha posts something, he gonna, hey, black sister, come on, man, bro, that sound fake. Like, come on, hey, black sister, black love. Like, come on, man, stop looking for these. He want to hit these straight PowerPoints to get you recognition, bro. Chill out.
Like he is so pro everything. Pro everything. If you don't like me and I'm this liar and you hate liars, why would you text me a voice note? And
he did that because you was going live. Like, right. If he had the opportunity, he would write us right now just so we could talk about it more and show it.
Before I really called him out. Now when I call him out, now I seem like I just have this, oh my God, a mean spirit, because you get tired of people playing in your face. This wasn't his first time. He'd been new since Labor Day. Since the reunion. Labor Day weekend, he actually called me, hey Kay, I was just hoping, because me and Sway are public servant workers, that me and him could, at least as cast member. But then on his interview, he's like, I'm not begging for friends. I'm like, bro, you don't call me 2 times begging me to talk to him.
And text me 2 times, big notes. I can show you, and I blocked them. Bro, get out of here, man. I'm good.
Anything to remain in a good light. And I don't just go on. We all have life outside of this. Go on about your life.
Yeah.
Okay,
he was better off not saying. He was better off just ending the show and not saying anything and going about his life, and just because I don't know. It's just so much more that I want to say, but I can't.
Comment. It's funny that he would even ask another man if he likes women. Like, no, bro, do you like women? Because if you're so great, why are you even single? Like, something is wrong with you at this point.
That's like I ain't that ain't my business. But I told my daddy. So my daddy asked me about the show, right? My parents young. My daddy 50. My mom what 49, 51. They young. My parents young.
Yeah.
So my daddy, he goes, Boo. They call me Boo. He go, Boo. Dang, you the youngest on the show. How old are people on the show? And I start telling him. He go, what? And he go, what is wrong with them? Ain't no way I'm gonna be on some dating show that age. And nothing against nobody age, but I'm like, Daddy, that's what I said. If I'm your age, not doing it. Retire, I would not be here. Retire. I'd be somewhere in a private jet flying somewhere. You can forget about that. I'm not gonna be here on no dating show looking for like, come on, you kidding me? It's just mind blowing. I was lost.
Well, I don't think it's nothing wrong with the age. I think it's more so the intentions, like what you're going through. And if that is the intention, just say it. Just say, okay, I came here for this. I played the game. That's it. That's fine. If anyone asks me a question, I can answer it directly. It's not a whole lot of circles. With other people, it's a lot of circles. Yeah.
I'm done. Tyrone, you can.
I mean, I definitely don't ever want to pile on, right? Me being a mental health advocate, my approach when people are on the show is to have some accountability and to show growth and try to ensure that they either learn something about themselves. And I mostly try to stay with the positive, right? If I ask you something negative, it's to eventually have you see, what was bad about yourself, fix it, and then grow from that. We were really empathetic about the exit. And you know what I mean? Because we know how it is, right? We know how the crowd is going to treat you. And my approach is to try to give you the opportunity to show your truth, right? Because however you went out on the show, whatever your truth is, if you're willing to own up to that, the world will love you for that, And it's just unfortunate that it just seems to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really just asked a simple question, but I love it though. Seems like we sparked something, and that was good. How's everybody else feeling? Like we always say when we're up here that we're gonna have the Q&A, we're gonna have people, give people the opportunity to meet the guests. But it seems like most everybody they just enjoy themselves just watching. Is that how y'all feel in the audience?
Yeah. So there's so much more that I want to say about Samson, but you know what? I'm going to say it to Samson because, as a matter of fact, just to let you guys know, since it is 352 of you watching right now, Samson will be on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So let's get back to the questions. Oh gosh, Lord have mercy on my soul, Lord. What do you guys do for fun?
A lot. I mean, it could be the simplest things. I mean, from just cooking together, traveling, being very active. It could be like a gym. I'm not a gym person, so that will end up being a fun moment for a moment to bond because he'll become my trainer in that moment. I mean, everything that we do together, we thoroughly enjoy. It could be riding in the car and him rapping in moments or singing a song. Like he likes alternative music as well, like certain things. And I'm just looking at him like this weirdo. For us, like singing a song together. I don't know. Sometimes like we're not movie people, but being that we don't live in the same place. And I see someone said, do we plan on living in the same place? Yeah, eventually. If that's where the relationship goes. But sometimes because you're in that long distance relationship, you find yourself always dating, always out the house. So we've had these moments where I'm like, okay, let's just watch a Netflix. Like, what can we watch? So it could be something like that, and talking about it afterwards. What else do we do for fun?
We do anything that's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Dolores would like to know, are you guys planning on getting married in a couple of years, and when do you want to start a family?
Why are you looking at
me? Pressure.
Swasey would actually start a family before he gets married. Leave it up to Swasey. I'll be pregnant by next year.
And it's not nothing like, all right, that's what I want to do. No, it's not. I have no specific order. You know what I mean? We know our intentions. You know what I mean? Me and her are intentionally with each other for the long haul. You know what I mean? It's not coming in here testing them and seeing what we got going on, and you know what I mean, and venture off. You know, because I told her we doing that, we're wasting each other's time. If we're gonna have fun and just date and just enjoy each other, that's cool. We can do that, but let's make that known right from the jump. You know what I mean? Because right now I'm coming all my eggs in one batch, and you should as well. You know what I mean? So we can focus on each other and grow and try to make this last forever, not just playing games.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you kind of see yourself, Swasey, asking Kadian to marry you within maybe another year or two?
I mean, I won't know the time frame, but I do see myself asking her to marry me. You know what I mean? But
so Kadian, that's it. So Kadian is the last one. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we have intentional conversations. Like, we were just the other day in the jewelry department. He's like, babe, pick out the ring that you would like so I would know. Like, he says certain things like that. Like, that was just on what, Sunday?
Yeah.
But he's here and be like, oh, I'm gonna ask her within a year, because we've had conversations where it could be next month, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it could be we get to a place and for whatever reason, it could just be because of business or life. It's just like, hey, maybe this is going to be better to do this after I file this tax. It could be so many different things that we've talked about. So when he says that, just to be a little bit, he's not going to give anybody a date because of that.
Right. I get it.
But he's definitely speaks on it. Like, he always talks. Like, he's like, babe, when we have our son, he gonna play football, whatever. Like, when we get married, we gonna have the dinners at our house, and we gonna have our traditions and this and that. So that's how he speaks, you know. So that's why when he don't give an answer, I'm totally okay with that, because I know in real life the things that implies that.
Right. I mean, he's intentional, and that's amazing, because we as women, that's what we want from our men. You know what I mean? Instead of like, Samson will be on tomorrow. Kay, why would you say what other couples are Mike and Brandy not together? If so, do you and Swasey hang out with them?
No, we don't hang out.
We don't hang out with them, and I mean,
I don't know if they're in a relationship. The last time that we were at the reunion, they said they were dating and that it could turn into a relationship. So I don't know if it's in a relationship. And personally, I don't have me and Brandy are fine. I have no problem with Brandy. Me and Mike, it's just certain things like you think about, and I'm like, I don't like how it was said. Me and him had actually had whole different type of confrontations. Like, he's called me a bitch before in my DMs. So things now, I'm just like, out of respect for their situation, I don't want to befriend her to that, that extent, because that's just weird. I don't want to be friends with someone and me and their guy
don't get along. Right. Yeah. And that's living kind of fake at that point too.
So I wouldn't know about their lives if they're actually in a relationship.
Right. Wow.
But I know each other. Let me be very clear. I know they deal with each other. I just don't know if they're in a solid,
full-blown together like you and Swasey, pretty much.
They business, we just start their business.
Right.
Yeah. I get it, and that's the best place to be. Kadian, I heard you have a restaurant in the Governor Square Mall. What is the name of your restaurant? I'm from Tallahassee area, but I live in Jacksonville now. I do visit the area.
Oh, Jacksonville. I had a store in Lim Turner in Jacksonville, but it's called Sugar Cane and Spices, and it is in the Governor Square Mall.
Yay. Okay. So y'all go visit there. If you're in the Governor Square Mall, go visit her restaurant and support. Okay, guys? Kadian, my favorite scene is when Swasey affectionately hugged you in the kitchen. I noticed how you melted at his loving touch. Is touch both of you guys' love language?
We're both affectionate. And I wasn't melting. I was so nervous. I was
melted. He said, yeah, you was.
And I do not want to sit here and be this vulnerable, and this does not pan out to be what, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get it.
So like, he is super affectionate. Like, Swasey will kiss me in front of his mom, and I'm still to the point where I'm like, don't do that, you know? Like, you're not kissing me in front of my mom and dad. Like, don't do that. Like, we were actually at my parents' house, and we were outside, and he's sitting on a chair outside. At his mom's, I probably would sit on his lap, but at my parents, I sat on the edge of the chair. So he had to go move his car, and he gets up, and I go flying off the chair, because that's how much I'm like, ooh, like, I'm still a little girl at heart. Like, it's that viral clip going around about the guy kissing his wife, and they're like, oh, was it doing too much? And I showed him, I'm like, this will be you. He is super affectionate, super touchy. And I think that's one of the things that we bond to. And like, we are always like just touching each other and showing love.
I love it. I love it. I just saw this question real quick. Not all says, I follow y'all on Instagram, both on Instagram, and I love the fact that you guys work out together. What are your favorite fitness routines?
I like anything easy.
She makes me upset. We're like the routine I just follow. I have like a lot of different things I do. I try to do, like, if I'm working out with her, I try to do more lower body than anything, and do like some upper body, you know what I mean? Because I don't want no big shoulders and stuff.
Yeah, I already got a wide back.
I don't need her looking like that, you know what I mean? So I try to do more ab workout, more lower legs and core stuff with her. And with her, you got to be, you know what I mean? You got to try to be strategic with things, because my baby try to take the easy way out on things like that. When it's about business and stuff like that, she gonna work hard and she gonna put her best foot forward. But when it comes to fitness and stuff like that, if I tell her to do 8, she'll do 6. So theoretically, if we have to do 10, I tell her it's 15 reps, because I know she's gonna give me 12. You know what I mean? So I'm not getting mad and upset saying you cheating reps. No, I don't know how to do that, because I already done tricked her already. So things like
now
that.
I know.
Right.
So things like that, because she made me mad. She be on the phone, want to do all this TikTok and do the videos. I'm like, baby, I don't care about that right now. We need to work out. Like, I don't have time for this. All this video and let's do this. And I get annoyed sometimes. Sometimes we'll, like the first time initially, we'll go at it, because I tell her to do something. I can't. I'm like, don't stop saying you can't. Like, no, I don't want to hear that when I work out. I can't. You can do it. And then the next time she says she can't, and then next time she do it. I go, see, you always cheating yourself. Like, you can do it. That's just about pushing her and stuff like that. And I got to learn how to be more lean too. That's why I'm not want to coach. People always ask me to coach and stuff, but I just can't, because I'm too passionate, and I want somebody to do what I would do. Like, I give my all in everything, relationship, work, anything. I'm coming full speed, 100%. If not, I'm not doing it. So, and I just expect people to do the same. That's why I stopped teaching. I was a paramedic instructor as well. I don't teach no more, because the kids now, they want to cheat. They don't come with that same mentality. They come in late, and I go like, who rate? Like
he was so upset about being late for the interview. Like, when everything, our schedule got off track, he's like, let them know right now that we're gonna have to reschedule. I'm like, no, we can't reschedule.
Yeah, I got mad at her, because she just run late. Like, stuff is all cool and dandy. I don't like that. I like to be on time, and I want to be early. And I tell her, my sister last time we had an interview yesterday, my sister's like, it's just a minute late. I go, it don't matter. It's late. That's late. Like, I go to work, I gotta be working at 8 o'clock. I might work 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Well, y'all ain't even show up for our interview yesterday.
No, it ran over.
Because it ran over. We was going so long and it ran over.
I don't know. And like I said, honestly, we really don't play too much into the interviews. And like I didn't even know Samson said something about someone liking whatever. We literally skim through. So in my mind, interviews are literally like 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, okay, this, yeah. And then it ends up being hours. And
And I wasn't even doing no interviews. There's so many people like writing me and stuff. I go, man, I'm not doing no dumb interview. I was just saying that. I'm like, man, I'm not doing an interview. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing none of that stuff. I kept saying that. But then I was like, you know what? Because I'm also about being fair. And I'm like, man, as people that view the show and watch the show, they want to know certain.
Really love you guys. Exactly.
So I said, you know what? I would do interviews because that's not fair for them to just go from what they want to see and they want to know something else. So I said, you know what? I will do that. I don't mind doing interviews. I'll do a couple interviews. You know what I mean?
Well, we appreciate you guys being here tonight. We really do.
No worries.
Yeah, because it definitely has been great. So real quick, everyone, I've seen a couple of these comments saying that they would love Kadian to come on, and actually you, Swasey, too, to come on the Missing Link. Real quick, I don't know if you guys know what the Missing Link is. The Missing Link is another podcast that I do have. And what I do is I bring entrepreneurs on that platform, and we literally talk about you and your business. So it's that bridge that I gap for anyone that's interested in becoming a firefighter, anyone that's interested in owning a clothing boutique, a restaurant, and you pretty much giving cliff notes for the people that's going to watch the show and anyone that's going to watch the replay. And just to let you know, pretty much people out there that look like us, and also kids that's out there and teenagers that's out there that look like us, and say, guess what? If they can do it, I can do it too. So that's what I provide on the Missing Link. So if you guys are interested in being on that, you know, in the future, next week, whenever your interviews die down, I would love to have you guys. So
yeah, I love that. He teaches classes now, and I do business entrepreneur like mentorship, and I love that because I just feel like as a Black woman and an immigrant, it's so many different things I had to learn the hard way, and I'm not one of those people that feel like everyone has to learn the hard way. And I'm also not going to go to this woman empowerment for you to tell me that, yeah, what happened was I took my last $20 and I made it $1 million. Well, how did you do it? What did you
exactly
your business if you only had $20? Like, make it make sense to me. Where did you go to register your business? Where did you go buy these products? Like, I need information. When you bought the products, how many did you buy to make it make sense? Like, oh my God. And so that's kind of like where I go with my type of structure, because it's like, it didn't have to be this hard. Like, even with the it was so hard because they're like, okay. Even when I had the food truck, it was like, okay, show us your plans for the truck. Okay, well, where does the fridge, can I put a fridge, commercial fridge, or does it have to be a residential? Oh, no, you have to just do it and then we'll approve it. Wait, so you're going to make me buy a fridge and a stove, and then maybe it's not going to be out of this money? Just trying to learn certain things. It was very frustrating. I had no one to turn to. And it's very unfortunate that I actually had this guy. He has a Spanish truck, and he was the only person that actually returned a DM. And I was like, hey, I'm trying to sell a food truck. I know that you did can you help me? He said, come. He showed me his food truck. He gave me everything, like all of that type of stuff. I was there with my notes. I'm like, thank you so much. And when I was done with my food truck, I sent him pictures and videos. I was just so grateful because, oh my God, the Black community, they just feel like it's competition or something. And I didn't get anything. So for me being a business owner, I started off as a storefront. So a lot of I'm able to tell people like, oh, well, is this or is that?
Baby, you got to say that for the Missing Link.
Yes, and that's exactly, I was literally about to be like, skirt, and I was about to cut you off because that's when
I sought to talk about, like, I love it.
Yeah, me too. And that's, and anyone that knows my stories, my soulmates that follow me knows that's exactly why I started the Missing Link. Because when I started my business, I would go to people and ask them, and they'd be like, girl, I don't even remember, girl. And I'm just like, what?
I tell you little parts. They ain't gonna tell nobody. I tell her all the time, there's no free game. You can forget. Ain't nobody give you game free. And if you pay for it, they'll give you a portion. Ain't your own family won't tell you exactly how to make some money. Absolutely. And if somebody trying to offer you money for free, it's a setup. Don't never do it. It's impossible.
Yep. And I said, if I ever got a platform to be able to bring this information to everyone, like, I'm just going to spill the beans. This is exactly why I started it. So yes, I would love to have you guys on. Yeah.
So I say girl power, I really mean it, because that's me in real life. Yeah. Certain things add up. We all have our moments, but in real life, that's how I am. I that's when you guys were asking about attention. I have that community of love. Like, I don't go out a lot here, but if I go out and someone sees me, I'm like, oh my gosh, she was my mentor. She helped me start my, that makes me feel good. And not just start it like literally, like, this is the vendor. Before COVID, I was going to China twice a year. I really love it. I do not feel like we have to endure that struggle. Like, if God gives us the opportunity to have kids, our kids are, I'm not going to have my kids endure struggle just because, like, I'm not doing that.
Right. Right. And each one teach one. And I think if more people, if we could get our stories out, more people would realize that it takes all of us to build. Like, people like, you don't remember Black Wall Street? Like that's what I wish. And I wish that we could come together and do something like that. Like, it's so serious. And if we can get out of the mindset that society has placed on us and thinking that if we help each other, we're going to lose. That's what they want us to think. That's what they want us to believe. That's why they want us to go out and buy these expensive designer, cheap China stuff in real life, because they want us to be broke. They want our credit to be crap. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want us to, they want to keep us down. And if we could, like, just one person at a time, and if we could just teach them this, we can all be successful. We could. Do you know how much money is in the lottery right now? It's $1 billion. Why can't that be our $1 billion? Why can't we help each other go viral instead of period. What about us? Like, we are so talented. It's so many of us. You know what I'm saying?
We're just in a selfish place too, especially being in the beauty world. You would have 10 people that rather rent a suite space out and have a little 2x4 room decorated to say they have their own, instead of saying, hey, let's come together, let's buy this building, let's do a salon suite, let's give them this experience I haven't had, this and that. And I always tell every one of my students, I tell them, listen, when Sam owns that McDonald's, he does not care that it doesn't say Sam's McDonald's.
He don't.
Somehow so wrapped up that we needed to say
the competition,
Brittany's Lash Bar, instead of saying, okay, let's just do this beauty bar. I could be in there doing lashes. You could be, and it's just like
hair, nails, exactly.
It's just everybody want to be that person.
Yeah,
you don't have to be that person all the time.
No.
I just taught a student, and she was from, oh God, where was she from? Oh God. She was from, I can't remember where she was from, but it was one of those cultures where I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they all do everything. But either way, she was telling me how they married into the family. So, she married like her third cousin, that type of thing, whatever. And she's like, yeah, because I opened a smoke shop and the guy who's helping me, he owns this. And that's how we keep everything in our business, not just in there. Like, they married the cousins. It's a planned marriage. And then not only that, she was able to go to her other counterparts and ask them, how can she run this this smoke shop? And she has a guy there that's coming and helping her. And then she was saying the same thing with the Indian girls. Like, she told one of the Indian girls that she knows, like at school, like, hey, go here and they'll do everything with you or whatever. They just help each other so much. She's like, yeah. So the cousin is the one that owned the stuff because I'm in the mall. And so I was like, yeah, the guy with the jewelry store is my neighbor. And she's like, oh, you know him? Yeah, da-da-da-da. And I was just like, oh my God, how it was just like, boom, 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 boom. Like, yeah, he's the one who told me this. I'm like, dang, that doesn't happen in our community.
Yeah, it does not.
Like, someone, a damn app that they use, and they're like, I can't even remember. I'll send it to you later. Okay, whatever.
Exactly. Tyrone, you got anything? I know you do. I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
No, I mean, y'all done said a lot. My entrepreneurial journey, started because of my desire to do community outreach, with the meetup group. I'm on the tech side of the house. I'm a little bit nerdy and geeky and stuff. So I've been teaching, giving classes. I'm a big advocate as well for, the mentorship. So, seeing people grow is my thing, right? I talk about that a lot, about that being my calling, it feels like. So everything that you all are talking about, I am definitely all for it, definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys, because I try not to have my lives too long because I know you guys just got off the road too, and that's why we were a little late, guys, because they were driving and they were going to do the live while they were driving, and I absolutely told them not to because I wanted them to be safe and I wanted them to be focused on the interview, so that's why they were a little late. And I do appreciate that you gave me 2 hours and 18 minutes of your time today and 17, 18, 19 seconds. With I have done a lot of interviews, and I just want to say this was by far one of my very favorites. Oh, so informative. Like, you guys are so amazing. And I'm going to tell you, the chat was on fire tonight. And let me tell you, everyone loves you guys. And if interviews like this, that's why I do these interviews, because people need to see, yeah, we were on TV, but guess what? We're human and we are real life people. And I want to be able to show them exactly who you guys are. And I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for being patient. And yeah.
Tyrone, as a man, because, I'm not going to say I won't pay attention to women's opinion, but, I like to know, because I know it was a lot of strong opinions here and there about my personality. What input about my personality or my meanness or whatever?
No, I always said that Swasey was attracted to your straightforwardness, right? Because I think I had mentioned something about Swasey was looking for that maturity, right, in a woman. And I think I had mentioned that I felt like Swasey was trying to figure out like how to manage that, right? Because it's what he wants. It's just that sometimes when it's turned on him, he's trying to figure out like how to manage it. And I felt like once he did figure it out, then it could work, Yeah. But I liked your just straight up style. And I just felt like people weren't willing to have, like, I feel like you are okay with having an adult conversation, right? And not being in your feelings about the response to how other people feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is it? Like, what's the deal? Are we grown or not? Right? Like, I say that a lot.
Right.
And I feel like that's your approach and that's like your style. And some people aren't used to that because they want to sugarcoat it and they want to worry about how my response is going to make you feel instead of saying, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could add a little bit more tact, but when your feelings are raw and raw like that, it's just like you're gonna get it, whatever. Like, I'm not thinking to myself, okay, breathe, okay, you know what I mean? Like, in hindsight, I would have blown up like that? Not to that extent, but yes, because that's how I would normally react in that moment, So yeah.
If there was something, I'm trying to think of something deep that I might have to go back for I think it may have been, and not to jump too much on it, but the whole Shakira thing. Yeah, I felt like the approach was kind of harsh, but you said that, and this is why we do the interviews, to get the other perspective, So if you have if you have the reasonings that we don't see, then okay, like, who am I to argue with that?
Yeah, me bringing it up, I empathize a lot, and that's why I said I have to learn is that just because I would tell my story, I'm so honest and upfront. Like, I promise you, if I did something, I could be totally accountable to it. And I want to tell my story. I want to teach. I want you to learn from my mistakes. And, because I do go to universities and the colleges and the high schools, and I'll tell them, hey, this is what I did. You don't have to do that. Da, 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 da. When she alluded, because we never knew what it was, when she alluded to it, and we were having a conversation about basically domestic violence. That was the conversation about Sharice and Mike. All were having. Mike insisted that she stayed, and I'm like, no, let her go. You get what I'm saying? Because this is something real. But if she does want to stay to have the conversation, cool. This would be something that maybe she could, whatever. In that moment, should I have said that? could I have said, I don't know, like in that moment, just her bringing it up is going to be on TV. I'm not even thinking that deep about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking like this girl seemed to have a real situation, you know, like let her have that moment. I would have respected it more had she just talked to me about it, but I had no idea. So it was constantly being blindsided. Like we were in the van directly after that. Nothing. She's telling me about pizza. She's telling me how she's done other productions, how they've had better food. That was the conversation. Okay. That's on a Wednesday or a Thursday. We don't have the ladies lounge until Tuesday. Still nothing from her. When Tommy is saying like, oh, whatever happens here, we all thought he was speaking about the whole Mike situation, because he was asking all the ladies like, oh, do y'all have baggage? Do I have baggage? That type of thing. We didn't know anything was wrong with her. Kayla had hinted towards something like, Kay, I think she had said she didn't want to sit by me. But that still, I was still oblivious. You could ask Kayla and Looney. I was just like, oh no, the problem isn't with me or whatever. But when I got wind of that, no response, right? But I didn't pay attention to it until after Brandy mentioned that she wrote her and she responded. So I went back and looked, and I was now deleted from, we weren't following each other. I was like, that's weird. That was the first person who followed me on Instagram. And so still nothing about it, no conversation until we get to the dinner. And when we get to the dinner, we're riding to the dinner in the van together. And then she throws this whole fit. I then asked the producer, because this seems to be something serious. I still didn't know what it was. I had no idea about her thinking that I told her business or anything like that. I literally asked the producer, hey, is the problem with Shakira with me? The producer says, this is not that type of show. You don't have anything to worry about. So I'm like, okay, cool. Because if it is, like, let me know. Because what she just did caused that whole, like, I don't know what that's about. So, okay, boom, we go into the dinner. That's when Jamala asks her, and then she's like, is it you? And it's just like, wait a minute. Oh, wait, you really got an issue? So now I'm like, okay, bitch, you playing games, because if you had more than enough opportunity to really, if I really hurt you like that, to have said something to me. So that's when I'm like, yeah, you were on TV. I don't know what is for real. I mean, the producers, I have a whole text message. I actually wrote the producer after that when the film came on. And I was like, hey, you know what I'm thinking about? I asked you at the dinner, what's the issue with me? And you said you didn't know. And the producer wrote back, oh, we don't know what her problem was. Swear to God, this is in my phone. Like, we don't know what her problem was. Da, 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 da. I had no idea. So if a producer is telling me they had no idea, and I really had no idea, other castmates didn't even know, that's where I get so frustrated, because now then I see all of this stuff. Like showing up to that party, we wrote, like they put us in the van to get out the van together. She was like, oh my God, wipe your face right here. Da, 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 da. So it's just like, oh my God, who am I dealing with? This has to be like in that moment. Yeah. I wish I could have done things differently as far as just not saying anything, not even giving it anything. And that's only. But if I had to give it attention, I'm definitely going to go like that. Playing in my face now. That's how I feel.
A lot of people change on camera.
We've heard.
I think I had a funny statement and then a funny question. One is we did find, I teach how to do open source research online. So we did find the pictures of Swasey in the dreads, with the dreads.
I saw it when you were the hurricanes. Yeah, sent it to me. I saw it.
And then my last funny question: when was the last time both of y'all was in a fight, like in a real physical fight?
Like a real physical fight?
Yes.
I actually just had a fight. I had a fight. Like my physical fight was like last year. And I did not want to fight. Like I am a fighter. That's how I was growing up. My cousins used to always come get me. I was the little cousin all the time. And my oldest cousins used to always come get me. Hey, boo, go beat him up. He always see cutting out. He's crap, or he said this to me. He used to make me go fight all the time. So I used to always fight. Now, I don't try to look for, I'm not trying to fight anybody. You know what I mean? I'm humble. I try to stay out of the way. I don't want to fight nobody. You know, I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to do that. I don't want nobody hurting me. Vice versa. I don't think I'm no bigger than nobody else. I don't think, you know what I mean? I can beat everybody. But this happened in last year in Wynwood. I was driving down the street and these dudes was dancing in their car, acting all wild. And I was like, dang, man, I'm trying to get by, you know. So I just tap the horn, burnt, like soft, not no aggressive, nothing burnt. And so I drive around and I just see the dude like this out the window, and I'm like, oh my God. I run down like, what you said? And the dude like, I beat your ass like that. And I go, man, I just got upset. Immediately got out the car. I got in the car, walk around, and he walks around, and this dude really, and I came out the car, and this dude literally just swung at me. He literally tried to knock me out. And he swung. Boom, I jumped back and I punched him and he fell. And then I go like running around. I mean, I go like turn around. His other homeboy jumps out the car, and my homeboy get out and just hold him back. And the other homeboy tried to punch me, and I ducked and grabbed him and threw him to the car. And I'm like, I'm literally up here having a fight with these dudes. And then we ended up fighting, and the dude recorded it too. The dude at the restaurant, and it was funny because the dude like, hey man, all right, y'all stop. And then they just sitting there holding their eye, and I'm like, hey, listen, I did not want to fight none of you guys, man. I just tried to protect the car. That's it. I don't want no problems. And I just drove right off. I'm like, this is weird. I got killed. Something could have happened. I'm like, man, why did I even stop? I should have just backed up. And I started trying to do everything how I could have avoided that situation.
Kadian.
I was in a strip club in Atlanta. I was at Magic City actually, and this girl was drunk and belligerent, and
you told me that story.
Yeah, so that happened. And before that, it was someone who worked for me. So yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we about to wrap it up. You got one more question, or you okay?
No, I'm good. I just want to say, I'm happy for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in the end, we all want to see success. We want to see Black love. We want to see growth. You know what I mean? Y'all are doing the damn thing. Seems y'all are highly, highly vulnerable for each other right now. You secure each other. I have nothing but positive things to say, and I'm anxious, to see how not anxious, but I'm excited to see how it ends. I mean, not how it ends, how it goes. But I would love to be there in the future when y'all tell y'all kids how y'all met, because I know the stories is gonna be lit.
I met your mama on a show.
That's weird.
Right.
My Daddy, you lame.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the very last question. If anyone wanted to go on Ready to Love, what advice would you give them?
I would definitely say have a mentor that's been in it, because I think that's what kind of I didn't listen. You know what I mean? And I'm not a rebel like that. Like they said, oh, don't write nobody, don't tell anybody, don't this and that. And I didn't. And I was literally going off of so many different things. Like I was going from my friends' perspective of doing Put a Ring on It. They were only filming 3 days out the week. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like I could go back to Tallahassee in the middle. Bro, I was stuck down there for 6 weeks. No work. Nothing, you know what I mean? So definitely having that thing, if I would have known that it's it didn't dawn on me, and I gave the network so much grace, because it was always, this is Oprah Winfrey Network. Even on our reunion, the producers lied because they knew they gave us a BS 10 o'clock that night. They actually told us our call time was 10 o'clock that Saturday. The Friday they were for the reunion. So people are like, how the hell? We all have makeup appointments. We have told y'all from before, when you guys weren't giving us the call time, that we got makeup appointments at 10 o'clock in the morning. How do you guys, I didn't even get my makeup done for the reunion. I did it myself in the car driving there, because that type of stuff is what we dealt with, and still trying to be respectable. But by that time I was burnt out. But I tell people this analogy all the time. It's like if Barack Obama, Oprah say, hey, we want you to do a podcast, you're going to be so excited. You're just thinking the integrity of everything, that you're going to be like, okay, you might read the contract yourself, but you're still knowing that they're going to stand behind it. Tyler Perry, that type of stuff. Now, if your favorite rapper is telling you that he wants you to do something, you may even hire a lawyer to read a little bit better. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. It was like I gave it this thing. If I was on Love and Hip Hop and they played me to be how they played me to be on this show, I would have been like, oh God, I should have did that even more. Oh yeah, I should have punched that bitch in her face for real. I would have gave them that. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These moments, you're thinking the story is going to be told to some entirety. I don't care if it was captions, a little pop-up screen where you have the subtitle, like, you know how sometimes on the end of like different reality shows, they're like, and now she's having her show and this and that, and they went on to get married, like something. And I was giving it that grace that I really thought it was going to be told like that. But then I start remembering certain things. Like I start remember producers saying like, oh yeah, y'all season is going to be the best. Maybe remember when they did the edits, they're like, y'all season gonna be the best, da 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 da. And then I realized it's still a job for them, because at first I was angry with producers. I'm like, what the fuck? These people was really playing in my face. And then I had to really tell myself, like, you know what? They still had a job to do. They were just doing their job, not a reflection of them as a person. This is their job. Because like even that scene, I was so upset that happened, because I'm like, I don't even say red flag. You guys go in there and I'm like gushing over Swasey to my friend. Swasey and my friend had just left because they didn't get a hotel room for her. So he went, and because of his discount, he went and actually got the hotel. So we all left to go to that scene together. When we get there, of course, we're holding him outside and all that stuff. And they're like, yeah, this is going to be, we need to get down to the nitty gritty. These two have such a good connection. We want to see if it's real. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. We're going to see if this is real. And they're like, yeah, we need you to ask them the tough questions, you know? So of course they sit us down. They're like, yeah, okay, tell her about you. You have to act like we haven't seen each other. Like, hey, I haven't seen you. So I'm doing this show. You've been like, all of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm thinking I'm just doing what I'm should be doing, right? And I'm there talking about him to her, and they stop. And it was like, no, okay, this isn't this type of show. This scene, we need a red flag. What is a red flag? So I was like, you know, I don't know. I guess my red flag, that wasn't even my first red flag. I said, yeah, I guess my red flag would be like maybe, you know, I can't remember what I said because it was just some bullshit, right? It was nothing serious. It still wasn't anything for them. She stopped and she said, no, we need a red flag, because Samson was on a date too. And I said that Samson's red flag was that he had been older and never married and whatever. And she's like, no, we still need one about Swasey. So imagine you're on there and you're still thinking, okay, maybe I really just didn't know. And so if someone wants to do this, I definitely think that they should have someone to guide them through that's been there.
And I would say just simple, just don't give too much, man. You know, your character going to be judged. Don't give too much content. Don't say as much that you shouldn't be saying, you know, because you're going to be judged by this. Is your name going to be a part of this, your family? And I just say, like, what people used to say to me, and like, have an attentive ear, listen twice as much as you talk. You know what I mean? That's why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Just, you know what I mean? Listen. Don't do too much getting involved, because remember, they could use, chop, and screw everything. Like, there's been plenty of time they asked me to say this in the green. I want you to say this in the green screen, whatever. Swasey, say this. Why are you doing that? No, I'm not doing that. Every time. And it's just, I never was doing that. Every time I say I'm not doing it. And it is what it was. And that's why you don't see me on screen as much. You don't see too much content, because I wasn't doing that. I'm not going to be jeopardizing my name for silly stuff. No, I'm not doing that. So that's my take on it. Just listen twice as much as you talk. Oblivious. My girl just rolling.
Yeah, I'm just I'm already like a tell it like it is person. So, but that was the thing though. They had nothing, like when people were like, she got into her, everybody, no, they can't even play different green screens with any ladies. I never talk down to ladies. The argument that even caused the Charisse argument was me actually taking up for her. Like I was actually taking up for her. And so that's the unfortunate part about it. Sometimes I wish I just didn't say anything.
It's just, I told her, it's just, sometimes she wasn't wrong. Sometimes, yes, she was wrong. It's just because she's so vocal. She's just going to say everything. Once I'll tell her sometimes, baby, sometimes you just can't say things. Sometimes you got to just let it ride. You can't be vocal about everything. I'm like, that's not your business. So what if he said that? That's not, I know you know, but just let it ride. Like whatever. But she just so true to herself. No. I don't agree with that. I'm like, oh Lord, baby, you can't do that.
Because I feel like I'm being a part of it. Like imagine if, hypothetically speaking, you and Tyrone are dating, and I literally just heard Tyrone tell Swasey, like, yeah, I don't really like Sabrina like that.
Yeah, she'll go to you and tell you.
No, I wouldn't go to her and tell her like behind your back. we would be at the dinner table now, and I'm like, so Tyrone, do you really like Sabrina or not?
And then I'd be like, why do you do that?
Me like, why you put me on the spot?
Don't do that.
But imagine Sabrina's telling me like, oh my God.
But that's not your business.
And it's just so hard. As a woman, I empathize. So if Sabrina's telling me like, yeah, he really likes me, I'm gonna have him meet my daughter. I know that he's in this for real. I'm just like, oh shit, this is because I would want someone
to tell you exactly.
That's why I said I have to stop thinking that people want it or they're going to handle a situation or see it from the dynamics of me. That's it.
God, I have so much.
Because trust me, it's a lot of stuff that I could really air out, and I haven't.
She learned. I like it. Thank you, baby.
A little bit.
So sweet.
Because I was going to ask you, what was one of the things you might want to air out to just get it off your chest?
No, because they really don't cause me. But I will say this.
Swasey like, Lord, please, Lord, baby, Jesus.
Oh God. All right, guys.
If they ever say anything that I don't like, then I will match that energy.
Well, the way it's looking, you just might, because this is just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, there was almost an altercation last night.
Bother me. Yeah. But if someone like, I heard that. No. I'm just saying like certain things. No, I was gonna say like certain things are like, okay, some things you like, you cross the line. Like if somebody called me a rat or called me a roach or something like that, like you going too far. So now I'm gonna take you. But
right. Let me show you exactly what a rat is.
Yeah. If someone says something super disrespectful, then I'm definitely gonna match that. But if someone come on here like, yeah, Kadian this, she was mean, she did like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, there was almost an incident where they tried to get two people on screen at the same time that had conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
nah.
I said that to him today. Like, I definitely agreed that it was her moment, and to say that I do believe this with that situation. I'm not saying nothing negative. I'm not saying no details. Right. I just feel like all I'm gonna say is that's why if you live in your truth all the time, you don't ever have to worry about it. So all the time, you never have to worry about it. That's all I was gonna say, baby. That's it. So you don't have to worry about now trying to prove a point, because the point would have been proven from the get-go. But if you allow to play with you and you play games, you end up with silly situations.
That's let them deal with that. Yeah. They should have kept it real.
Yeah.
Now you got to deal with all that other stuff and playing like now you looking dumb because you been playing the line for each other. That's what you get. Just keep it real. You ain't got to fake nothing. Just be yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, guys. I know I put this up here a couple times, but I definitely just want to say it out loud because I think a lot of us feel this way. What's going on, Lauren B? She says, unfortunately, we didn't get to see the beauty of you guys' love connection on the show. Wish they had shown the viewers more of the love part. And I agree. So, oh my God, this has been such a great interview. You still have like almost 300 people watching you guys, way over. It got up to almost, I think, 360 in the chat. So this was a great interview. I just want to say thank you one more time. I appreciate you guys for taking the time. But before we leave, I do want us to go around one more time so you can let the viewers know exactly where they can find you, your businesses, etc., websites, anything that you want to put up, your platforms, all of the above. So we're going to start on Tyrone.
What's up, everybody? Tyrone E. Wilson. Find me at Ty Wilson 21 everywhere. Tomorrow is Wednesday, hump day, so my mental health discussion tomorrow will be on depression. It was the 5 stages of grief last week, but depression tomorrow, and stay tuned for some more additional content. It was a blast. Always fun being up here with Sabrina. This interview with Kadian Swasey tonight was great. It was definitely up there. So. Like, I almost want to ask for a part 2. So, yeah, like, I feel like Kadian would be great, like, just to give some input on the panel and just the way that you don't hold back. Like, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
And that's all I got.
Real quick, Tyrone, let them know where they can watch your the depression show, and let them know what time.
It's gonna most likely be early tomorrow around 10, so 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on my YouTube channel. So just do a search for @TyWilson21.
Okay. All right.
Or there'll be a link in the description.
Okay. Kadian and Swasey, where can they find you?
Okay, I am K Smith with an E. IAMKAE Smith. It has all my pin handles in my bio. A lot of people always ask me about my skin regimen and stuff. So that is Silk Beauty Bar, and then I am Couture, and the restaurant is Sugarcane and Spices. And I do want to say this, Tyrone. I love it, and the reason I asked your opinion is I love to hear from a professional standpoint certain things. I could take it and I could respect it more because I feel like you have that ground. So that's why I was asking, because I want to know and I want to hear it. So yeah. And if you ever do anything like couples, I want to be there. Like, I love that. Like, it's like therapy without therapy. But sometimes, like I said, we don't know what's normal. So if I love that we have friends. Like, we went out to eat with friends the other day, and when we could really, oh my God, this is normal. Like, for him to see a married couple and we're sitting there like, oh, see, she thinks the same thing. It makes me feel normal, because sometimes you don't know what's normal.
Yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, I would definitely do it. I would definitely do it. I got with say that one more time.
I'm sorry. I said she missed me soon. I leave, and then things. Maybe that's
weird. Yeah. I would definitely do that. I know there was a plan to have the fellas talk about the mental health and the exposure, but I don't know who to I don't know who to put on the screen at the same time now, so I got to figure that out.
Yeah, but definitely you should have them on, Ty. I think that would be really, really good, especially with their journey and just where they came about and the challenges and everything else and moving forward as well. So that would be amazing. Swasey, you want to let them know where they could find you on socials?
Yeah, you can find me, like, my personal is at Swasey28. And then I do also have a couple businesses that I don't really like publicize a lot. I don't know. I just never been that type of person. You know what I mean? I hate customer service where I have to ask somebody to do something. I'm not the type that be asking someone. Like, I can't stand sales. I don't like the feeling of asking somebody to do something for me. So that's why I never was into sales and things like that. I just like, man, no. I'm not asking nobody nothing. But I do have a CPR company where I teach advanced cardiac life support, pediatric advanced life support, and basic life support for lay persons to all medical professionals. Like, I teach that on the side. That's my own business, and that's at ER Search LLC on Instagram. And I do also have a t-shirt company I just started because of my baby right here. You know, she into that stuff, so I started that, and and I got into that because I'm into fashion. I always like dressing up nice. I'm always like, you know what I mean, worried about my appearance and everything like that. And so I should, like, you know what I mean, start a t-shirt company, hats, and little small things like that. So I started that business, and that's on Instagram as well as Who is Swasey.
Swasey, would you ever come on and talk about your experiences and things that you've seen as a firefighter and how those things affect you?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. I've had my sister on. She was a 911 dispatcher for 20 years. So I would love to get a different perspective.
Yeah, I talk about that all day, like all day. And I tell her certain things. I get mad at her sometimes because I'm on the phone and then she'll just hang up or the call will drop or whatever we won't talk. And I tell her, man, baby, you can't do that. Like, this will be my last time me talking to you. I'm for real. This ain't no. I'm working a real live dangerous job. You know what I mean? Whether it's a fire or, you know what I mean, I get caught in building collapse or somebody have a initiation where they kill a first responder. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that happens. And so I'll be trying to explain that to us sometimes. And
it's different. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not used to it. Like, if the phone call drop and I'm cooking, I'll be like, okay, I'll just call him back. Like, you know what I mean? It's not in that moment where he is like, well, why didn't you just call me? Like the other day, my phone was messed up, and in the restaurant, it's no service. So, but I didn't tell him that I was going down to a restaurant. So he has to FaceTime audio me. So when I didn't, he was giving me attitude. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I was like, hey, do I have a boyfriend still? He's like, no, because I was calling you. I was like, oh, I didn't get it. I was in a restaurant, you know? So for him, it's just like.
It's just big on communication. With me, as far as just communicating, like I'm all fine not talking to you all day, but just let me know you good. Hey, baby, I'm gonna be busy all day. My phone broke, and I'm gonna be down in the restaurant. Okay, cool, baby, do your thing. Just let me know. You know what I mean? Just communicating. Just like with my job, everything is communication. That's the thing that sucks in the fire service, communication. Yeah. It's like we call it organized chaos. You know what I mean? We have a fire, thing like that. People running to us for help. We run in there. We still have to communicate. We have to let them know what we see, what we got, and everything else. Once that communication get out of whack, then people get hurt, people get killed. And it's the same thing I'm bringing to my relationship. People get hurt, feelings get hurt, and you know what I mean? Things can happen.
Yeah. Mm. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you so much again. Shout out to everybody that watched the live. Shout out to you guys in the chat. You guys rock. You are so amazing. I love you so much, my soulmates. If you have not liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, because I know you enjoyed it, because you hanged in there the whole time, hung in there the whole time while we was on. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, I would so greatly appreciate it if you subscribe. Also subscribe to Tyrone's channel. You can find him on all platforms at TyWilson21, and make sure you follow Kadian Swasey, because I feel like it's going to be an amazing love story that we can watch on social media, that, you know, they'll give us a part of their lives to show that we can see. Anyway, other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow at 9 p.m. as we interview Mr. Samson. Anyway, love you guys.